For dessert, we're gonna be making a tiramisu.
Can you put the camera on the other side? Literally, look, it's my fucking head levitating.
Just grow taller.
Oh! Yes, I don't know where the fuck that came from.
Wait, where did the
Put it in your mouth and tell me if it's salty or if it's glass.
Wait, no way, you just said that!
Funny stuff.
2023. Because you see, barely 6 months after announcing.
Hi everyone, I've recently been diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. I didn't say that right, but leukemia, I mean, come on. That's like the hero of Star Wars, right? Leukemia Skywalker. Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be reviewing the TenZ and Kyedae breakup. We're also going to go over the Sick drama. Sick from Sentinel Hunter Mims. And then we're also going to be looking and finishing off with Jasontheween and his breakup. So here's the story. TenZ and Kyedae broke up after 6 years of dating, and they were engaged. They were dating. Kyedae became a big streamer off the back of TenZ, and she also went through a huge cancer scare. I believe she still has cancer, to be honest. Anyways, TenZ stayed with her, and then they broke up at the end of 2025, and they didn't tell anyone. The internet took the narrative that they broke up based on subtle clues, and they decided to run and trash Kyedae. And after the breakup with Kyedae and TenZ, her sister actually broke up with Jasontheween. All this to say that there is a huge grand conspiracy going on where Kyedae is pulling the strings and forcing everyone to comply with their version of the truth. And that goes for TenZ, that goes for this Johnny Choi guy, that goes for 39 Daft, that goes for quite a few people. This drama kind of blew up, and it's covering a few people. Now, my take of the situation is that they were dating, life changed, they drifted, they started dating at like 18, and that means like they were just kids, and then they broke up around 24. It sucks. It's sad to say, but like it's like a high school relationship that just doesn't go the distance, right? And they're still nice to each other online. TenZ is still defending her, and I believe Kyedae is also defending TenZ, and Daft is defending all of them. There's this ex-player. So Sick was an ex-player, team member with TenZ on Sentinel. He's going crazy. He has this thing for Kyedae, I think, or he might like just want to ride her controversy into like success, like we saw with Leafy and Destiny's ex-wife Melina. So, what do we have here? My view was that the internet's view is that he is a cuck who got cheated on, and that his girlfriend used him for money, even though she stopped streaming and then left him. But she probably made a fair amount of money. But we have to remember that she also contributed to his content as well. We'll be looking over a couple TikToks of the two together. We're also going to be looking over Sick's Twitter, and we got some more videos of Sick to look at. And Sick is kind of signal boosting this. I actually don't think he's signal boosting it as bad as like some of just the Twitter bots. And then we're going to end with Jasontheween talking about his breakup. And he is just so talented. He's a great orator. He has a great way to order his thoughts. I really enjoyed watching him. And he said this great thing where it's like these people are going online, posting these lies online for the love of the game, or even pennies if Twitter does decide to pay them. So I just want to thank you guys for stepping in. Be sure to go into the description and look up the chapters, okay? If you're not really interested in going over the video, the main component of this video is reacting to Mugen's video. But if you want to see like some of the stuff that we cover on Sick or anything else, be sure to check it out. There is a break in the middle, so I'll put like a cute little transition slide. There's a break in the middle of the video, and you might hear my baby crying at the end of the video because it was her bedtime and I had to rush out. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you enjoy. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that fun. Okay, I have absolutely no idea who these people are. I assume, I'm not gonna make any assumptions, but this is from a person named Mugen. I assume this is a fighting video game character from the hit video game fighting series, Street Fighter. Let's see what they have. They have this guy, Kyedae, very cool. Very urban spelling of Kyedae. And then we have TenZ. Okay, so let's get into it. They broke up. And you know what? I was just thinking to myself, like, it's quite a shame that they broke up because I thought they were going to be the one that made it, you know? One of these YouTube couples that made it. But let's see what we got here today. We were at 000. We got Mugen here. Let's go.
What happens when one of the most well-known and iconic couples in content creation and esports history decides to abruptly break off their relationship?
My assumption was right. The assumption I didn't want to make. They're a power couple, esports
After
power
6 years of being together. More importantly, what happens when they tell their millions of followers that it was completely mutual, amicable, and had no drama whatsoever? Well, I'm glad you asked.
Very young.
Many would refuse to believe the narrative that this was amicable, accusing the woman in the relationship, Kyedae, of cheating, going as far back as 5 months before the breakup and outlining how she had unfollowed her best friend.
Daph and Kyedae unfollow each other after Kyedae starts hanging out with Daph's ex.
On social media because she was
They're young, for sure. They're very young. If they're 24, they started dating at 18. This
coincidentally hanging out with her ex-boyfriend. Hell, even before the breakup announcement was made,
I checked out now, and she doesn't either. I checked out now, and she doesn't either in the latest Sakura stream. Okay.
fans were already aware that they had broken up because they weren't even wearing their engagement rings on stream anymore. And somehow, we'd find out that there was a Reddit post made
Kyedae cheating on TenZ. I saw Kyedae cheating on TenZ at TwitchCon. I swear I am not lying. Believe me, she's a cheater. I saw it with my own eyes. Awesome. That is a great story.
2 years ago accusing Kyedae of cheating on her boyfriend at a convention when she was there alone.
This has way more comments than I have.
And if that wasn't enough, we had a self-admitted pedophile enter the ring. This is when he'd tell the whole world that back
This is the sit down I had with her that I'm referring to, by the way. We talked about many personal things on both ends. Difference is I never went behind her back, but I knew what kind of person she can be behind the camera, and clearly someone has to say something. Interesting. I wonder what this is about. We're probably going to get to this. So this guy's like a kid toucher? What's this guy? Okay, let's see. Valorant Pro, sick, arrested, raising concerns over mental health, criminal trespassing. Wait, is this the same guy? Ooh. Yeah, okay, sick. Yeah, Hunter Sick Mims. Okay, I don't care. Okay, let's see. Do we have the pictures? Oh, look at this. Okay, so we're on his Twitter right now. Here's the video. Here's Mugen's video. That's sick. I have never seen a longer version of a word salad before in my life. Oh. Bro. Okay, well, let's refute the idea there was any cheating or serious tension between these two by cherry-picking a fairy tale narrative. Literally no new or personal information about their relationship. This will age poorly. Let's just be serious and logical for a second. All of these people involved, very high profile people, will be streaming and on social media again eventually. You really think nobody has negative feelings towards each other? It will come out in some way or another. You look stupid. Oh, so is the video gonna say she didn't cheat? Is this guy? Is this the same lady here? Is that who that is? Hunter Mims is blah. Jesus, bro. Jesus. This is all February 12th. Okay, let's see. I hope you understand that after the conversation with you that I had at lunch today, I talked to Tyson. I wish you the best of luck, my friend. Of course, don't mind. And we came to a consensus to talk to Karis. This was during the time that everything was already aired out on Twitter. Say what you want, yes? I called her asking her side of the story. And no, I'm not going to just say whatever I want. Yes, Hunter, you aren't a good person. Okay, so this is interesting. We got a little bit of a bias. Kyedae to Hunter. But you're making this worse on yourself. You tried cheating on Karis before Berlin. Jeez, what happened in Berlin? You've said the N-word. Bro, the N-word. In public? In front of me, an Asian American? Tarek and Tyson. If one of these people are BIPOC, I assume Tarek, then that could be ugly. All of these things could get you easily canceled. You know what? Nothing can get you canceled. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Onision streamed after he did what I actually don't know what Onision did, but tons of people do bad stuff in stream. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
Back in 2023, he had a one-on-one conversation with Kyedae in which she admitted to wanting to experiment with other men. Guys, this is easily one of, if not the messiest breakup I've ever witnessed.
Is this a fan? It's hard to tell here. The blue check mark, that used to mean you're someone, but this might just be
my life. And it's crazy to think that this all stemmed from something that was meant to be amicable. It's riddled with misinformation and extremely dangerous breakup I've ever witnessed in my life. And it's crazy to
hey everyone. Tyson and I feel ready to share some personal news. We've actually been broken up for quite some time now. Toward the end of our relationship, we came to the realization that it wasn't easy to accept. We stopped growing as individuals. For most of our relationship, bro, I can't read. We did everything together, worked together, hobbies, interests together, pretty much everything together. We've even joked in the past that although we were together for 6 years, it felt like at least 30, which is true. That's something. You could have these, like, they're called seasons. So if you're with someone for a year and you're only with them 2 days out of the week for whatever reason, then you're only going to be with someone for 2 days out of the week. That's 100 something days, right? Bro, I am so dumb. Let's see. 2 times 52. Yeah, it's 104. What the hell? What's 6 times 52? Wow, math is amazing. Okay, yeah, so this time here is obviously a lot more than the 104. So you could definitely have like a relationship that seems a lot longer like that compared to other ones. We moved in together just weeks after meeting from the ages 17, 24. Yeah. That was all we knew. Over time, it became clear that we needed space to grow into our own people separately. Now listen this. if you're in a relationship, you're growing together, you know? You don't need to grow separately, unless you like need to catch up to the partner. We know that the internet often looks for the tea, but the truth is simple. We grew apart. There was no wrongdoing, no resentment, and no single event that caused this. We still care deeply about each other and genuinely want the best for one another. We're also incredibly grateful for the time and life we shared together. Thank you for respecting our privacy. Can I just tell you something? Can I just say this? I don't think it matters if they broke up, and I actually don't think it matters if she cheated, because it obviously looks like their relationship was.
I think that this all stemmed from something that was meant to be amicable. It's riddled with misinformation and
Ending a 6-year relationship on just messages after he sacrificed his career for you to stay loyal. Women are evil, bro. I'd have to. TenZ revealed he had his future planned and was about to surprise Kyedae with a penthouse in LA for Valentine's Day. This is. I don't know what TenZ has done. I assume that they're both a power couple, right? So, and it's not like women underperform from men online. So I'm not too sure. Like maybe he did make a sacrifice, but this could just be a woman-hating thing.
extremely dangerous theories. So I thought we had to talk about it in an objective manner so that way you can make your own opinion in this mess. If you like my videos and want to see exclusive content, then make sure to check out my stack.com page in the description and the pinned comment. And now, without further ado, let's get right.
It felt like 30 years. Damn. Is that being used as an insult?
Into this mess. Alright, so first things
look at these
first,
guys. They
who
look
are the
like
two people
kids.
involved in this disastrous incident? Let's start off with TenZ.
They look the same. They look like the
TenZ
same
would start
person.
playing the game Counter-Strike at the age of 3, and by the time he would reach his teenage years, he'd be playing at the pro level, starting his journey in 2017, and by 2019, he would have made it big by signing with one of the biggest esports teams in North America, Cloud9. But even with that in mind, as a player, he wasn't really able to stand out in the pro scene. That would all, of course, change in the year 2020. This is when Valorant would launch its closed beta access. And even though it wasn't really intentional, everything had lined up perfectly to drive hype for this game to levels never seen before. It was barely a month after lockdowns had began in the majority of the world because of COVID-19, and the way you'd be able to get a key is by watching a stream on Twitch.
Valorant is like a superpower shooter, right? I think you have
The caveat though was that there was no guarantee you'd get it. You would just have to watch a stream for as long as possible, and after every hour of watch time, you'd get a very small chance of getting a key. This is why every streamer imaginable on the platform began playing this game and was in the category, sometimes going to sleep and rerunning old clips just so that people can watch. It was an infinite money glitch, and everyone wanted a key. However, TenZ didn't really have to worry about getting a key. He'd have access to the closed beta on day one, just like many other pros, and would play the game a lot. And so when the first iteration of ranked mode would come out, he was already prepared. And due to this, he would become the first player globally to ever reach the Radiant rank, the highest rank in competitive Valorant. Think of it like Challenger in League of Legends or Top 500 in Overwatch. This legendary accomplishment guaranteed the fact that the entire community was going to be aware of who he was. And so, due to Valorant's incredible hype in 2020, by 2021, many esports organizations would start making their own teams for the competitive scene. One of the biggest and most
he was on CSGO. Okay, so he was on CSGO and then he went to Valorant. That seems like a pretty smooth transition.
successful ones would be Sentinels, and they would recruit TenZ immediately. By that same year, he was seen as the game's superstar. If he had played the game in any way competitively or cared about its competitive scene, then you would have known who he was. It was that big of a deal. And I mean, the numbers speak for themselves.
Wow.
During his Counter-Strike days, he would never have more than a few hundred viewers. By the time Valorant had come out and he would reach Radiant as the first player globally, he would gain tens of thousands of followers and thousands of concurrent viewers. By the time he'd be signed to Sentinels and would become a household name, he would gain hundreds of thousands of followers and would get an insane viewership. He was absolutely on fire. At the same time though, if you knew anything about TenZ, then you'd know that he had a girlfriend, Kyedae. They were together since before Valorant even came out, ever since 2019. They had dated for a few weeks and moved in together when they were both just 17 years old. And just like how TenZ blew up to astronomical levels, Kyedae would also experience her own form of success by collaborating with him. These clips from their collabs would go absolutely mega viral on all platforms, showing a couple that's absolutely in love with each other while also getting to see TenZ, the #1 Valorant player, teaching his girlfriend how to play Valorant when she's never really played first-person shooters before. Many of these clips would be posted on Kyedae's personal TikTok, and they'd get tens of millions of views. She has over 2 million followers and 100 million likes on this platform. And it goes without saying that some of her top clips on her page always involved TenZ.
I thought it was YouTube. Still, 2 million is amazing. Obviously speaking, 2 million is amazing, but it's not like 2 million.
Would start streaming in November of 2020, a few months after Valorant's closed beta would launch. And within her first month, she would have an average view count of 2,800 viewers, as well as gaining 75,000 followers. Her fame was instant, but it wouldn't stop there. She'd keep growing at an insane pace. People couldn't get enough of her and TenZ. I mean, look at this video, right? TenZ versus Kyedae Valorant 1v1 rematch. 11 million views. There will be an insane amount of Clipper channels taking clips from their streams of their interactions, getting millions of views as well. They were everywhere. Saying that these two were one of the biggest content creator couples on the planet was not an understatement at this point. So while TenZ was at the top esports team for Valorant, Kyedae would get her own opportunities as well, joining 100 Thieves, one of the most well-known content creator orgs on the planet. And while yes, some people would argue that she could have never made it this far if it wasn't for her boyfriend, it's not like she ever said the opposite. She understood that she was in a very lucky position and would say so herself in an interview with 100 Thieves. Watch.
That's crazy. So he was part of, what team was? So he was part of Sentinels. I don't know any of these esports. Sentinels. And then she's part of 100 Thieves. Didn't 100 Thieves, like, go public? Didn't 100 Thieves, like, have so much money? What does it even mean to go public? Let's see. No, it's a private company, not publicly traded. Oh, I wonder what I'm thinking of then. I thought 100 Thieves was like so rich, and I thought like they were publicly traded. But that's good for her. She, you know, it doesn't matter if she's dating this guy, TenZ. She was good enough to make it to the team. And even if she wasn't good enough and she was still hired on, there's some value that she's bringing to the org, so.
A few other clips went viral. It was kind of like an overnight thing where a few thousand people started watching me, and I would just like talk, and Tyson and I would just do some like challenge videos and other things. And I'm very thankful for the situation I'm in where I didn't like grind those hours like a lot of streamers do that totally deserve this. I'm not saying I necessarily like deserve this, but it's been a journey, and it's been definitely like a lot of fun.
This was the perfect storm. A couple going mega viral with everyone being completely obsessed over their relationship, all while staying wholesome and humble. Truly the epitome of content creator relationships. So at this point, as an avid fan, what else could you possibly ask for? Them tying the knot, of course. Around summer 2022, they would announce their engagement after having kept it secret for 8 months. The internet at this—
I wonder if they loved each other at this point. I wonder, like, if this was, like, something that... Whoa, 2022? It's 2026. That's crazy. It's 2026. They were engaged almost longer than they were dating? No, that can't be right. Yeah, close to. Interesting. Happy 3-year anniversary to the love of my life. It's crazy how fast time flies when you're enjoying life. By the way, we have been engaged for 8 months, but I have kept it a secret until now. Okay, so yeah, they might have been engaged longer than they were dating. Interesting.
This announcement, of course, exploded. Finally, this perfect couple is getting married. And I mean, you have to understand by this point, these two were seen as the ideal relationship for so many—
I know Social Blade is like, you can't really depend on it. But is this just ad revenue? I could believe that with the views that she was getting. If that was just ad revenue. Okay, that's YouTube. Let's see. Kyedae. I spelled her name wrong, didn't I? Kyedae. Huh. It's not coming up. I think I put it in wrong. Okay, anyways. Let's go back. Oh, Twitch stats. That's not her, is it? I have like total face blindness. Oh, she's getting mass unfollowed. This might be her. In the last 30 days, she lost 5,000 followers. Is she still streaming though? Oh, I don't have platinum. That's interesting. What year is this? March 2023. Okay, so I don't think we're there yet. This makes sense. Is this her? Oh, wait, what's this? Huh. This might not be her. It looks like her. Anyways, wow, she's doing well.
Many people, I'm talking millions, and to many they were the personification of their goals when it came to finding a life partner. In other words, they were perfect, and people couldn't get enough of them. However, this image of perfection, of living the perfect life, would end pretty abruptly in
Like, I don't usually watch this kind of content, like couples and cooking streams, unless it's Mythical Kitchen. You know, you got that Josh guy from Mythical Kitchen. He is just so talented. Josh Shear, I have his cookbook. And then Maddie Matheson, all those guys, incredible. But like, what is this? You know, like I don't watch OTK, but of the clips I've seen of OTK, I don't think that Emiru is in love with Cutie Cinderella or Cinnabear. Cinnabon. I think Cinnabear is the one with that birdie fellow. Anyways, I watch these. I don't think they're in love with each other. I'm curious to see, quite frankly, what was so loving about them.
2023. Because you see, barely 6 months after announcing...
Hi everyone, I've recently been diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. I didn't say that right, but leukemia, I mean, come on. That's like the hero of Star Wars, right? Leukemia Skywalker. I'll be starting up treatment very soon. When was this? 2023. Interesting. With that being said, I'm not too sure how my body will react to the treatment, so I do apologize in advance if my stream schedule isn't consistent. Stay safe. I wonder, you know, not to be a little bit of a goober, a little gooner on this topic, but I wonder if like the cancer scare made her like reconsider her life. They have this show, it's called, what's that show? The Big C. It has Laura Linney, Oliver Platt. Fun show, great show. Their son is an awful person. Regardless, I wonder if she had like a reevaluation of her life, or she evaluated it for the first time, like Laura Linney did when she got cancer in the show. Interesting.
Their engagement, Kyedae would unfortunately announce to the world that she's been diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. In other words, cancer. But cancer so aggressive that she only had a 25% chance of survival after 5 years. This was a shock to pretty much anyone, Kyedae included.
Crazy.
And many couldn't believe that this perfect relationship was now at risk, that they faced danger. They didn't deserve this. The wave of support from the internet was immense. But it wasn't just strangers wishing her the best, it was also her content creator friends. Many male content creators, including Miskif, yes, I know this aged very badly, would shave their head in support of her because she was going to undergo chemotherapy and was about to lose all her hair. This was a very sweet gesture. However, one content creator here stood out, and it was 39Daff. She was the only content creator friend of Kyedae who was a woman that shaved her entire head in support of her. And the reason why I'm highlighting this is because it's very significant. When you're a guy and shave your head, you don't really care. You just wait a month and your hair's back. You can wear a cap, you can wear a beanie. It's all good. When you're a woman though, shaving your entire head off like this is like losing a part of yourself. And yet here she was doing it effortlessly for her friend. It really showed just how amazing Kyedae was. Not only was she the perfect girlfriend, she also had the perfect friends. For months, people would keep up with Kyedae and her updates, and by September 2023, many celebrated when she would announce that she was finally done with chemotherapy. Her hair could finally grow back now. She would, however, specify the cancer wasn't completely gone. She would undergo other treatments, but for now, she's happy because she can finally grow her hair back.
I'm officially off of chemotherapy now. Kyedae real. Awesome.
But just as things were
Awesome.
finally
That
starting
was
to look
6
up for
months
her,
ago.
the other person in this relationship was going through their own personal hell. 2023 would be TenZ's worst year on record when it came to the esports scene
Why everybody hates the face of Valorant.
of Valorant. This once great player was starting to be seen as overrated, as someone who was taking up a slot in the top team for no reason. His performance was tanking, and the online criticism was reaching
He was getting criticized for sucking at the game. If this is 2 years ago in 2025, I'm not sure when this was made. But he's getting criticized for sucking in the game because his fiance has leukemia. That's wild.
unprecedented levels. I mean, look at this video right here. Why everybody hates the face of Valorant, sitting at 1.1 million views. And I mean, no wonder, right? His fiance had just been diagnosed with a
Slideshow. TenZ is a problem for Sentinels. How much can he fix before 2024? Okay, so this is quite interesting. Before 2024, when she was still in the thick of it.
very aggressive form of cancer, and who knows what he was going through mentally. But even with all of that, he wouldn't give up. He'd persevere, and the next year, in 2024, he'd managed to win his second Valorant World Championship with his team. It seemed like TenZ and this current roster were working very well together, and he was back. This is why it was so shocking for the entire community to see that barely a few months later, on September 2024, he would announce that he wasn't just quitting Sentinels, he was retiring from competitive play. For years, he was seen as the face of Valorant, and there he was, leaving at the top of his game. The Valorant community was in absolute shambles, and many
See, this is like a real cool thing. He got to go out on top, which is awesome. He won his second Valorant championship. That's
theories were being
incredible.
spread around as to why he left, one of them being that he needs to take care of his girlfriend. However, people would ask him why he retired multiple times on his stream, and he would answer it. He was grateful for the competitive scene and what he had experienced, but it wasn't for him anymore. He was losing passion for the game, and on top of that, he wanted to focus on other things in life. It was taking up all his time. And finally, when it came to the money, he was making way more just streaming, so it didn't really make sense to just focus on a game that you weren't passionate about anymore on the pro level.
In a tournament, right? Like, what do you win? Do you win $50,000? It looks like $250,000 in March. Overall. Yeah, okay, so $250,000. And maybe a little more throughout the year. I have no idea how this works. I guess I just want to go back, see if they give the month.
To be seen as overrated, as someone who was taking online criticism, diagnosed with a very Valorant World cancer, and who knows what he was going through mentally. But even with all of that, he wouldn't give up. He'd persevere, and the next year, in 2024, he'd managed to win his second Valorant World Championship with his team. It seemed like TenZ and this current roster were working very well together, and he was back. This is why it was so shocking for the entire community to see that barely a few months later on Major. Watch it for yourself. For years, he was seen as the face of Valorant, and there he was, leaving at the top of his game. The Valorant community was in absolute shambles, and many theories were being spread around as to why he left, one of them being that he needs to take care of his girlfriend. However, people would ask him why he retired multiple times on his stream, and he would answer it. He was grateful for the competitive scene, making way more he was going to quit. But Kyedae told him, please, just give it one more year, which made him eventually win his second major. Watch it for yourself.
Believe it or not, I would have retired last year if it wasn't for Kyedae. I said to myself, like, I'm just gonna like retire. And Kyedae said, no, like, trust me, like, stick it out 1 year just for me. And 2023 was such a low point for like my Valorant career. She like told me straight out that there's only up from here. That was the reason that I have played the 2024 season. Honestly, if it wasn't for Kyedae convinced me to do one more year, I would have never been been a part of the Madrid winning roster, I wouldn't have a redemption within champs and get a top 4 finish within the team. So yeah, it's been an awesome ride.
So there you have it. This was not only a perfect couple, they were both perfect and relatable.
Sentinel's TenZ on Kyedae. She's honestly home for me. She's my rock. She makes me feel great and supports me through anything I struggle with. I don't need that much else because she makes me happy. I gotta tell you, this is actually a pretty sweet couple.
They, much like the average person, had issues, they had challenges, but through their power of perfect love, they were able to overcome it together, further reinforcing the fact that they were the perfect standard for any relationship, and making many of their fans, some that just found them recently, root for them. By this point, they were bigger than ever. However, after TenZ's retirement from the pro scene, the on-stream interactions of this couple would reduce itself significantly.
Okay, I just want to take a little break. I kind of want to just get involved with these guys, so let's see this. This is them.
Yes, I just stirred it up a little bit.
Oh my god, don't hold it like that with the sleeve. Holy sh**. Where's the glove? Kyedae, that's hot, that's hot.
They're just looking at the chat instead of the camera, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the camera's right there. My monitor's over here.
Oh my god, that's burning.
And thank you. It's fine, it's not that hot.
Stop, hot.
Yes, I just stirred it up a little bit.
Oh my god, don't hold it like that with the...
Might do more. Also, the reason why we are wearing these Today's been a long day. We bought these headbands because we don't have...
What? Dang your emo.
What was it again? Because we don't have our hair clips yet. I have to get hair clips.
Why am I wearing a headband?
To match with me. You don't have to. But can you guys hear? Might do more. How did her cake taste? Bro, what the f...
That was a while.
Interesting. What?
Oh.
The cake that we made.
Oh.
No.
Wait, what?
Oh my god, that was so loud.
What?
You're kidding me.
No,
Not the Kyedae Friday, her cake. Guys, he's not that stupid. He knows. He's acting like this.
Okay.
For dessert, we're going to be making a tiramisu.
Can you put the camera on the other side? Literally, look, it's my fucking head levitating.
Just grow taller.
Oh! I don't know where the fuck that came from.
Wait, where did the...
Put it in your mouth and tell me if it's salty or if it's glass.
Wait, no way, you just said that!
Funny stuff.
And the last major news that we'd hear from them would be on April 2025 when Kyedae would announce that she was done with streaming. Watch.
Alrighty, everyone. I probably won't be back to streaming for a while.
I just don't get it. These people, this Kyedae lady, let's say the social blade was close and it was actually like every view and every super chat combined, she's at least making 200K a year. That's what like some dentists make, right? Or some low-level doctors make that. Like, and she just quits. Like, how do you quit? Like, this is a job. You know what I mean? And I get it. She had cancer, but she overcame the cancer. She dummied that, right? I just don't know how people stop. Sorry. When you're making that much money, like, it's absolutely insane to quit when you're on top. Like, it's kind of cool because TenZ did it for just his Valorant competition, right? But like, this is the job, right? TenZ quit so they can continue streaming. And let's say they didn't break up. This couple has to be making at least $500,000 a year.
Or if you do see me, it'll just be randomly every once in a while. But yeah, I'm kind of done with streaming. So bye, guys.
Sorry to hear that.
This was definitely sudden, and it did spark some rumors as to why she was doing this. Was she focusing on something else? Was her cancer getting worse? You see, for most people, they moved on. They watched someone else, they got back to their job, their actual life. But for a number of people, this simply wasn't enough. They wanted more, and they were about to do everything possible to acquire more information about Kyedae and TenZ's personal lives. And this was partly made possible due to the fact that both TenZ and Kyedae associated with a specific friend group that had some extremely and worryingly parasocial fans.
Who's OTK?
Okay, so here's the deal. For the longest time when it came to
What is it? DGG? Destiny takes a day off and everyone can track his steps?
Twitch content creation, the status quo involved two major groups of people that controlled most viewership. They were divided between two cities in the US, the first one being Los Angeles and the second one being Austin. The latter had OTK. If you were a streamer,
Okay. Okay, I think I know these guys, okay? I don't know you. You're Emiru. You're Asmongold. Look how puffy this guy's face is. Asmongold is a real neckbeard. Don't know you. You're an old man. Don't know you. Are you? No idea who you are. Don't know you. That's Tectone. That's that's a caveman. A good-looking caveman, of course. But I mean, come on, bro. Don't know this guy. This guy and this guy are both at Home Hardware, waiting to run away from ice. I mean, they look great, and this is Mizkif. And Mizkif is not an OTK, as I understand, or maybe he's suing for some licensing thing. I don't know. A pretty good looking crew. I like this guy. This guy, he's like I don't know. He kind of looks like Vosh. Okay, and this guy, like, is this guy the leader of OTK? Does OTK have a leader? And I thought like Ludwig was an OTK, and I thought like Cutie Cinderella was an OTK, but I could be wrong.
Streamer in Austin of any significant size, you couldn't avoid associating with these people. These were the people that you worshipped, hoping to get more opportunities out
Nice.
of. They were known as edgy, politically incorrect, and the opposite
I don't know. Like, politically incorrect is like, making an offhand joke. I always thought that was politically incorrect. What Asmongold says about Renee Good deserving to get shot in the head, I don't know if that's like politically incorrect. And quite frankly, it's politically correct. Technically speaking, it is the correct administration line. I'm not so sure. Very funny stuff, though.
of being brand friendly. Some of their top creators at the time were Asmongold, Emiru, and Mizkif, as well as Soda Poppin'. On the other hand, though, in Los Angeles, you had offline
Soda
TV,
Poppin'.
otherwise known as
What
OTV.
name?
This included content creators such as Skara, Pokimane, This Guy's Toast, Lily Pichu,
Oh, this is OTV. Okay, because I also thought Pokimane was in OTK, but no, I don't know any of these people. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 Asian people. 7. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7. Yeah, Doi. Jeez. Pokemon's the only one I know of. And that guy who was in OTK or OTV who was harassing Pokemon. Who's that guy
and
again?
as you might have guessed, they were the complete opposite of OTK. They were wholesome, very politically correct, and extremely brand friendly. Chances were that if you were a substantial content creator who lived in LA, then this group of friends had to have been in your circle. This is why their channel was called Offline TV and Friends. They very regularly featured people outside of OTV that happened to live in LA that were their friends. And while I'm sure that hanging out with OTV must have been an amazing experience, you'd very quickly realize that just by associating with them, you were also associating with a small portion of their fan base that was mentally ill and extremely parasocial.
It's very funny. So if you go to 4chan and you go to the B board, go hit catalog, sift through all the porn, all the political discussions, blah, blah, blah. You will see in OTK or maybe Offline TV, whatever they're called, OTV. OTV, OTK, you'll see a thread about them, a board about them. The mentally ill charge is Not unwarranted.
Here's an example. Disguised Toast is one of the more prominent members of OTV.
Look at this guy. He has a recessive ear gene because he has no earlobe. Nothing wrong with that. Just interesting when people like this get earrings.
At some point, he would date another content creator by the name of X Chocobars. This was a well-known fact as they would publicly announce it to their community. However, to some people, it simply wasn't enough seeing them interacting on stream. They wanted more. And so in 2018,
Disguised Toast discovered multiple discords stalking him in X Chocobars. Friend simulators are a hell of a drug. This really shows how people are so easily tricked into thinking streamers are actually their friends. Yeah, damn.
Disguised Toast would uncover a shocking...
You might be right, but this is not how normal people would treat their friends. But then again, this is not how normal people would treat anyone.
Revelation. There were multiple, not one or two, multiple Discord servers that were actively stalking him and...
Honestly, like, if they're not putting down locations, but they're just talking about them all day, I don't know.
His girlfriend, tracking their every move, following them, and taking pictures as well as videos of them whenever they would hang out together. Seeing them on stream, interacting in content simply wasn't enough. They wanted to be part of their private lives. Every second of their lives was content, whether they liked it or not. It was an egregious breach of their privacy.
Like, I see what DGG does, and from the outside looking in, the description fits them perfectly, but they don't actually do what's being said here. It's like there's a smaller creator called Gisticle, and he has a Discord that's always talking about Destiny, and from the outside looking in, this is exactly what it is. From the inside looking out, they're just going over talking points. They're always looping. So I wonder if they were actually trying to find them in real life.
Privacy. It absolutely shocked the streaming world at the time. No one deserves this happening to them. The problem was, though, that OTV didn't really know how to set proper boundaries. Being brand friendly and politically correct comes at a huge cost sometimes. One of them being the fact that
Jodie is always preaching about how happy she is that her chatting community is a safe place, but I come into her stream and the first thing I hear is someone mocking her complexion. And for some reason, that's so funny to everyone in this car.
that you are very easily bullied by just about anyone who gets a viral post on Twitter. For example, in December 2023, Scarro would make a fairly harmless joke to one of his friends. Someone random would make a post on Twitter saying that it was racially charged, that it was disgusting, that it was racist to an entire race of people, and instead of putting his foot down saying, dude, this is my friend.
Okay, so Kara knows Jody. I'm sorry, my words here were terrible and offensive. I tunneled so hard at making a specific joke that I ended up targeting an entire group of people in a mocking and distasteful way. I did not think about what I was doing, and it was a terrible lapse in judgment for which I should definitely have known better. After talking to Sydney, is that Jody? Jody is always preaching on it. I realized that making jokes like these, especially in spaces with more impressionable viewers, might make others think it's okay to further alienate groups of people. I definitely did not understand how my words could be additionally harmful, especially in this way. I'm sorry that in my ignorance and lack of consideration that I have hurt others. I will strive to the best of my ability to never hurt others in the same way again. Like when I think of complexion, I'm not thinking about like being Asian. I'm thinking about something like I'm not thinking about being Asian. I'm thinking of like zits. Okay, let's see.
and we're comfortable. We have our own boundaries. He apologized as if he murdered someone. One of the first most important rules of content creation is when you give an inch, people will ask for a mile. And that's exactly how OTV treated their community. They treated them like their overlords, which meant that unfortunately, inevitably, boundaries were never going to be respected. This is where the subreddit OTV Girls Feet comes. Wait, no, that's the wrong subreddit. Wait, whoa. Anyway, this is where the subreddit
Yeah, that's so crazy. I've seen that on 4chan. Like people straight up talking about people's feet. And I wonder, are these creators like purposely sticking their feet out? Like I saw again some Emmy.
You guys are distracting me. Turn this light off.
Oh,
We just all got murdered.
What the hell? Now she looks like Sydney. Can we get to the place already? God damn it, John.
We're only here for 7 more minutes.
Oh, how do you know Sydney would die laughing at
She
that?
would laugh.
Did I rush John too much, man?
I have not influenced Scar. Wait, you guys are distracting me.
Who's Sydney? Toast brings up an interesting point. You can't say that when she's not here, and it makes me wonder how much Sydney has enabled this racist behavior in private for Skara to feel comfortable to mock my complexion, not only when she's absent. Wait, what? Is this a streamer or just some Asian person? She's created an environment where they can't even show basic respect towards her. People of my complexion and black people. Then they use the who's Sydney? I just got it. Okay. Yeah. Probably not the move. Sydney must be black, right? Can I just... Sydney black streamer. Is that something you can do? Offline to... This one? This lady here? Listen. Okay. We'll try to give them the benefit of the doubt. We'll try.
TV and Friends Rumors comes in. With over 68,000 weekly visitors, it has become one of the most parasocial forums to keep up with the OTV gang as well as their friends. These people will watch every single piece of content produced by both OTV and their friends, whether it be podcasts, vlogs, streams, all in the hopes of finding clues or hints about what their friends are up to. If a streamer's on a random podcast, they'll watch it. If that streamer hints that, I don't know, they went on a trip with another streamer from OTV, they would come to this subreddit, make a post about it, and theorize as to what that trip might have been, who might have been there, what could they have done, and that's when the rumors truly start spreading like wildfire. They pretty much tracked your every move. So it was only natural that they'd find it extremely suspicious that Kyedae, at the end of December 2025, would private her entire Instagram page. On January 3rd, someone would make a post saying TenZ and Kyedae broke up late 2025, early 2026.
Which is, like, totally possible.
Little Birdie told me that they split a few days back. Kyedae hasn't said or confirmed anything. She went MIA and deleted all pictures on her Instagram. Rip to everyone who believed in their love if they're not getting back together. Someone would ask, who's your birdie? Another proof? To which that person would say, another streamer that also hangs out with them. I'm watching TenZ stream right now and he isn't wearing any rings. He deleted his engagement photos today too. Kyedae updated her bio on Instagram to
And you know why, like, this is a little parasocial, but it's part of like the whole product that they're delivering to the viewers, right? The relationship, their fun cooking and their oven mitts and their rice bowls and whatever we saw in those TikToks or those YouTube shorts. it is part of the package. So people are just talking about the show. It'd be just like in That 70s Show when Eric and Donna broke up. And I get like these are real people, and in the show, That 70s Show, that is a scripted show. But at the end of the day, the product's still the same. It's still delivered to be the same.
I'm just currently figuring out my Insta feed, lol. Don't worry, guys. Smiley face. But it's weird that TenZ deleted their engagement photos. And when it came to her Instagram, this person wasn't lying. After she had privated all her posts and she saw people starting to make up rumors, she made sure to include this in her bio, saying, I'm just currently figuring out my Insta feed, lol. Don't worry, guys. But by then, it was too late, and you'd think that someone as prominent as Kyedae would understand that. On January 14th, 2026, this post would randomly go viral on Twitter with over 5 million views. It would simply say, wait, did TenZ and Kyedae actually break up? ? This right here was the real super spreader event, prompting others to start posting the same screenshot that was shared on Reddit, showing the fact that Kyedae had no more posts, and even going as far as checking Sakura's streams, Kyedae's sister, in which she makes an appearance, and they'd noticed that she didn't have her engagement ring on her finger. Over the next 2 weeks during January 2026, these rumors would start spreading very quickly, and by January 26th, someone would make this post on the subreddit OTV and Friends Drama, a subreddit similar to OTV and Friends Rumors that also gets a sizable amount of weekly visitors, sitting at 51,000. It would say, recent rumors regarding a potential breakup didn't come from nowhere. And here they had 5 points. The first one being, initially at first, Kyedae completely cleansed her Insta feed. Some people say that she removed the engagement post first and then everything on her page after, can't confirm however. The second point, TenZ had also removed every post except one with Kyedae on Instagram. The engagement post was also unpinned from his Twitter profile. Edit, the last post with Kyedae has now been deleted. The third point, TenZ had unfollowed her on Instagram a month ago and then refollowed her a bit after. Can't confirm if the same had happened on Twitter. The fourth point, TenZ had spent the holidays alone. Kyedae was in Vancouver. They had always, the past years prior, spent the holidays together with their families in Canada. And finally, the fifth point, neither TenZ or Kyedae have been wearing their engagement rings in the past month. They had always been wearing their engagement rings on stream for the past 4 years. This is probably the biggest evidence something happened. Since the rumor blew up a bit on Twitter, TenZ and Kyedae have not publicly confirmed or denied anything. TenZ, a few days ago, since recently coming from a break, said he has some things to figure out. TenZ was streaming himself playing Valorant with Kyedae on December 7th and then took a break and returned to streaming on the 17th with no engagement ring that he hasn't worn since. If they did indeed break up or go on a break, something happened in those 10 days. Also, considering the brief Instagram unfollow from TenZ around the same time span, whatever happened in those 10 days might have ended what was nearly a 7-year relationship. This post would get a lot of upvotes, over 300 comments, and eventually would be deleted due to the incredible attention it was getting. People would try to rummage clips from past streams to confirm these theories. On his December 7th stream...
Yeah, okay, December 7th, wearing ring, 17th, alone, not wearing ring, video 3, the 7th stream, or same as the 7th.
He not only was wearing his ring, he was also on a call with Kyedae where she was asking him, hey, can you play the game I like? And he'd be saying, when we move, which made it seem like they were going to move somewhere together. They were going to move to a different house. But then when he came back on December 17th, he wasn't wearing a ring and he was saying, when I move, signaling that he wasn't moving with her anymore. But let's take a step back for a second. Let's go back to the initial post we saw from January 3rd, 2026 about this person and their little birdie. One parasocial fan would say, I don't know, man, is Kyedae dating John, 39 Daft's ex? Look at this VOD and check 37 minutes, 15 seconds. This would be a timestamp from an almost 12-hour stream. I'm telling you, man, you don't want to mess with parasocial fans. In it, we can see Foosley, someone who's known to be in the OTV and Friends circle of friends, talking about a trip she had with Kyedae and another man named John. The stream would be on January 19th, 2026, and the trip itself would be after December 7th, so during the time in which she broke up.
Maybe that crypto platform implemented some mechanisms for we're learning about your mistake. Are you sure you're getting your money back? Stream, streak. At least you're rich. Boom. Okay, well, we got Kyedae here. It was at the Spot Cafe.
With TenZ. Watch for yourself.
Yes, I was with John Choi and Kyedae. We went to get what did we get? We got sushi. We got we got coffee. Yeah, and then it was a good little time.
It really is incredible to me how in a 12-hour VOD, someone just took these 10 seconds to try and prove to the world that their theory is correct. And it was a significant theory. You see, John Choi is none other than 39daft's ex. Yes, the same woman who shaved her head in support of Kyedae's cancer battle. This was also made even more significant because on the OTV and Friends rumor,
Daft and Kyedae unfollow each other after Kyedae starts hanging out with Daft's ex, John. It's so sad to see. Their friendship was really beautiful. Her shaving her head with Kyedae is something I'll never forget. I don't know if it's related to John, though. Whatever it is, I hope they can work it out. That's a shame.
Subreddit, someone would make a post on September 27th, 2025 saying Daft and Kyedae unfollow each other after Kyedae starts hanging out with Daft's ex, John Choi. This post would contain a picture of both Kyedae and John hanging out in some island. And this had gotten very dangerous because when it came to the parasocial viewers, they didn't need proof that both Kyedae and TenZ broke up. They already had it. They had already moved on as to finding a reason why this breakup happened, why this perfect couple separated, and they were already convinced that it was because Kyedae cheated. To them, there was enough proof. Why else would
I assume what happened is that they broke up. They didn't tell anyone. They acted as they were broken up. Before they announced it to everyone, she started dating this John guy. That's a mystery that she would date someone who's so close to her online friend. I don't know how close they are really as friends. And then because they didn't announce to everyone that they broke up, everyone's going to say that she was cheating. And for how long, who knows?
39daft and Kyedae unfollow each other when they literally were the closest friends. And so barely a few weeks after these rumors had truly caught on fire, many of these parasocial...
Maybe that's why she stopped streaming. If this relationship took place and she already trashed her friendship that hard,
so viewers would be extremely vindicated once Kyedae finally speaks out on what's going on between her and TenZ. What would follow after would be one of the most catastrophic incidents involving a public couple breaking up. On February 8th, 2026, Kyedae would post a statement saying, "Hey everybody, Tyson and I feel ready to share some personal news," Tyson being TenZ. "We've actually been broken up for quite some time now. Toward the end of our relationship, we came to a realization that wasn't easy to accept. We had stopped growing as individuals. For most of our relationship, we did everything together. Work together, hobbies and interests together, pretty much everything together. We've even joked in the past that although we were together for 6 years, it felt like at least 30. We moved in together just weeks after meeting, and from ages 17 to 24, that was all we knew. Over time, it became clear that we needed space to grow into our own people separately. We know the internet often looks for the tea, but the truth is simple. We grew apart. There was no wrongdoing, no resentment, and no single event that caused this. We still deeply care about each other and genuinely want the best for one another. We're also incredibly grateful for the time and life we shared together. Thank you for respecting our privacy." She would then reply to herself with an image of TenZ, writing the statement on paper, saying, "This was us cooking it up at the park today, LMAO, and I can already predict the comments because of the use of M dashes in the tweet. Don't piss me off, we didn't use AI." TenZ, on the other hand, wouldn't say anything. He would just change his...
Interesting. So they work together to make it. I wouldn't do that if someone cheated on me. I wouldn't work together to help give them a good name, especially if they're already done streaming. If someone had to go down, wouldn't it be the person, even if it was amicable? Oh, even if they both agreed upon it, wouldn't you like trash the person if someone had to get trashed, the one that stopped streaming and is out of the public eye? It seems like TenZ feels like, oh, this is interesting. Anyways, it feels like TenZ felt like he agreed enough to work with her for this post at least. I've been seeing this actually. Political leaders have been posting it. This penguin marching up a snow bank or something. It's supposed to be, what would you call it? It's supposed to be like a political statement, right? Is this like a MGTOW situation? Let's see. I've been seeing this. There was a political party somewhere in Europe who did it. It's from a very old video from a documentary about penguins in the Arctic, where some display unusual behaviors. They don't just walk away, they walk far inland, away from food, family, and into certain death. Oh, the scientists in those videos are not allowed to disturb them, but they mention that even if they tried returning the penguin running away, they would simply do it again. You could describe it as the penguin going insane, but people just call it depressed penguin, which probably mirrors us more than anything else. They want to just walk into the horizon and disappear. Penguin. Or edit. Penguins don't live in the Arctic, but mostly in Antarctica, which is also where the documentary was filmed. I language barriered myself. The Arctic is part of the land. Okay, you're good. You're good. You did more than enough here. Okay. Okay. So he was very hurt. I mean, how could you not be? How could you not be hurt? Quite honestly speaking, how could you not be hurt?
Why is a penguin mean?
This breakup, let's see. I just want to see this. I heard Vosh talk about this. Let's see. Okay, so I wonder if this is insinuating that under the leadership of these people...
Why is a penguin meme being used to project European self-confidence?
Competitiveness, for sure. Defense of freedom, for sure. Security, for sure.
Does it have anything to do with Greenland? And does it matter that penguins can't fly? This video, published on the German Foreign Ministry's social media accounts, is apparently meant to spread a message of European unity.
We do prefer respect to bullies. We do prefer science to glottism. And we do prefer rule of law to brutality.
The video combines an animated penguin wearing a backpack depicting the faces of European leaders, with snippets of their recent speeches on the theme of standing together.
European friends, loyal, for sure.
The context is not mentioned explicitly, but it's pretty clear. At the World Economic Forum, European leaders stressed the importance of independence and sovereignty, which seem threatened by the US.
We have entered a time of great power politics.
US President Trump eventually withdrew tariffs he had threatened to impose on European allies because they opposed his desire to annex Greenland. The idea of getting penguins involved actually came from the White House.
Oh. What? Do they think that penguins are on Greenland? Okay, wait. So they do this because they're uneducated, and then the EU does the meme, even though what they're saying is the complete opposite of what it should be?
Which earlier posted this image on X. It shows Trump and a penguin with the US flag.
Because, again, what the documentary said from this Reddit post here is that the penguin's going insane and going against food, going against water, going against the rest of the penguin family. So it definitely looks like they're trying to say that the future's not in the EU, but I don't know who posted it.
Flag walking towards Greenland's flag in the distant mountains. Stupid. Quick fact check, penguins do not live in Greenland or anywhere else in the Arctic, but in the Antarctic. The video posted by the German Foreign Ministry doesn't mention Greenland, but it does seem to be a response to the Americans. In fact, this video is based on the Lonely Penguin meme, which takes a scene from a documentary by German director Werner Herzog. In the film, a penguin leaves its colony heading towards the mountains.
That's so sad.
But why?
Nobody knows. But this pro-European social media clip does have a clear message.
Justice, peace, respect. For sure, Europe must...
Unless it's walking out of the... I'm sorry, unless the penguin is walking out of the inland to get back to the sea. Because that's what it kind of looked like in the end. It kind of looked like the penguin was eventually getting the water. So that's interesting. That's sad, bro. That's so sad. The idea of like a penguin going up and killing
his
itself.
profile picture to a lonely penguin and would simply retweet the statement that Kyedae had made. Now look, they were trying to be lighthearted, humorous even. They really wanted everyone to know that there was no problems. This was amicable, there was no tea, no controversy, and they simply wanted to move on. The problem though was that, as I said, people had already made up their minds. They knew about this breakup, but now they wanted to know why. And this whole idea that this was amicable, that there was no resentment or any issues, that simply wasn't gonna cut it. This post would end up getting over 54 million views with over 6,800 replies, and I can tell you right now, a huge chunk of them are not positive. Many of the top replies were either losing hope in the fact that true love exists, or were just simply shitting on Kyedae.
So he's stuck by you during tough times, and when it got better, you broke up with him. I mean, that's a crazy way. Like, yes, yeah, you're right, Jaeger, but
most liked.
What if she didn't like him anymore? What if she just wasn't attracted to him anymore? It's tough, right? Like, does she have to sacrifice her whole life and her whole happiness just to be with this guy?
Reply other than Kyedae's own reply, saying, so he stuck by you during tough times, and when it got better, you broke up with him? That's crazy. Or how about this one? Welcome to the gym, TenZ. Oh, and of course, we can't forget that one. Kyedae wants a hoe phase. She had just posted this post, but the rumors were running so rampant, people already made up their minds that she got bombarded with unprecedented hate. These, of course, were only the replies. The quote tweets were a completely different story. Like this one, with almost 1 million views and 31,000 likes. Grew apart from the one person who held it down when you had cancer. How about this one? 2.4 million views, 58,000 likes. Not gonna lie, if I spent 6 years with someone, moved in, did everything with them, and helped them when they got cancer just to break up because she grew out of the relationship, I'm straight up killing myself.
I guess, like, my thing would be, like, wouldn't you want her to leave if she's not gonna, like, be into you? Like, wouldn't it be better to just get a new partner who's into you as opposed to, like, living out 50, 60 years with one another and she's not a fan of you? Like, I'm a big fan of, like, no divorce, but, like, these guys weren't married yet. They got out at the right time. And you could shame them, but at least they didn't get married, you know?
Now, of course, this isn't to say that everyone was hating on her, even though they weren't as loud and weren't as...
Wow, poor TenZ, bro, time to hit the gym, bro. Keep your head up. I hate women shit. Exactly. I mean, that's okay.
Numerous,
I'm not
some
crazy.
still
That's
sided with her and TenZ. Like this post saying, TenZ and Kyedae, we've been dating since we were 17 and grew apart now that we're in our mid-20s and different people.
But they're not siding with Kyedae here. They are not siding with Kyedae. They're siding with the two. They're saying it's better that they didn't get married if they didn't want to get married, if they didn't want to be with each other.
Dumbest fuckers ever. Wow. Poor TenZ, bro. Time to hit the gym, bro. Keep your head up. I hate women. She dumped him even though he stayed when she had cancer. Regardless, though, for many of the loudest voices on Twitter, this was about a man who gave everything to a woman and she let him down, just like every woman does. This post says it very clearly. Men can give a girl the world just for her to say, did I ask you to do that? But hey, Kyedae and TenZ were truly trying their best here to make this lighthearted and not seem as serious as it is. Kyedae would go back to the post in which TenZ announced that they finally got engaged, and even though it was unpinned, she made a comment saying, this did not age well, comments incoming, LMAO, to which TenZ replied with, literally did not age well, skull emoji. This was their attempt to be lighthearted, I guess. But to the people that had a problem with their breakup, this felt nasty. But this post saying, imagine making this post and making a joke in the post where your ex posted your anniversary plus engagement. Why? Just leave it. I question your sincerity. It feels nasty. Look, Kyedae had been in some controversies before this, okay? Nothing major by any means, but because of her size, it was definitely bigger than you would expect. This, however, was the most hate she had ever received ever since she started online activities. It was...
That's wild. That is wild. Okay, we're back. I had to take a little bit of a break. Long video saying nothing. I'm starting to think what Hunter set up here. Let's see what Hunter's evaluation of the video was. Who's this? Perfect. Kyedae when she went blonde before 2023. Let's see. Right here. I've never seen a longer version of a word salad in my life. Let's refute the idea there was any cheating or serious tension between these two by cherry picking a fairy tale narrative. Anyways, it's a lot of word salad. I feel like this is all like great context for everything besides the breakup, but let's see where we are on the chatter or on the chapters. So parasocial fans, breakup shatters the internet. This, I don't know about that whole latter half, but this is a good video to understand the space. And that's something I don't know. So I really appreciate it. I really appreciate this video from Eugen, at least for that.
Absolutely merciless. So much so that barely a day after her post, TenZ would take it upon himself to make his own post defending her, saying, "Hey everyone, I've been seeing a lot of really weird posts about Kyedae and me that are creating false narratives and spreading unnecessary hate. It's really disheartening to see. We parted on completely mutual terms and we still care deeply about each other. It honestly hurts so much to see her being attacked when we both supported each other through insanely difficult times. I also quit playing pro of my own accord and was never influenced by her to quit." This was a rumor going around, by the way, that he had given her everything, even his pro career, just to support her cancer battle. Anyway, he continues, "People's goals can change over time, and that is just what happened with me. In a healthy relationship, there should never be comparisons about who sacrificed more or gave more. That mindset is immature and helps no..."
Yeah, really, that whole idea of keeping tit for tat at the back end, so gross. It's something that someone would jump to, but like you have to ask yourself, except for like specific examples in relationships, and unless you or the other partner is a significant drag, where does this help, right? It would help if you're like a lazy loser bum who doesn't clean or take care of anything of both yours and hers, or both in your partner's. So if you're prone to having things like just break or not cleaned or anything, and then your partner breaks up with you, that's a situation where you can kind of like do some math and kind of see, well, where was I doing a shortcoming? She was always cleaning, he was always cleaning, blah, 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 right? But in like a normal relationship, like these two are both so rich. These two were both so young when they got together. I mean, the idea of playing I did this or we did this, especially by the parasocial fans that were mentioned previously, it's so immature, especially for people of their stature.
Nobody. All I ask is that you please respect Kyedae as a person and respect the decision we made together. This kind of pointless drama is exactly why having a relationship in the public eye can be so draining. She is also still dealing with ongoing health issues, which makes the negativity being spread even more heartbreaking and unfair. Thank you for understanding, and once again, please respect our decision. This post would also get an insane amount of attention, naturally, since everyone was talking about it. And I do want to highlight the fact that he was saying she is still also dealing with ongoing health issues. That's because by this point, people were insinuating that she had beaten cancer, and that because she beat it, she was finally ready to let TenZ go from her life after he supported her, when that wasn't true. But even though this hate against Kyedae stemmed from people quote-unquote defending TenZ, the victim, this post did not help at all. People were not having it. The most liked comment in the replies would say, "I'm not saying the hate is justified or anything, but a mutual breakup doesn't actually exist, and no..."
Mutual breakups exist in like 50%. I'm just pulling a number out of my butt. But how many times have you seen two partners just drift away from each other, then they become short with one another? Or how many times have you seen a partner fall back and do this thing where they're like, oh, I'm going to make them break up with me so I'm not the bad person? And then when that breakup happens, because partner one forced the hand of partner two, at least partner one gets to say, well, I was broken up with. Whatever reason, that's good to have. That would be an example of a mutual breakup. But another mutual breakup is just people getting sick of one another, people doing different things, people growing apart from one another. Now, I know that they said something to the fact where they wanted to grow apart together because they did everything together. That was in Kyedae's letter. But that would be an example of people mutually breaking up. People just got to get over this scoreboard mentality, right? And you know what? Just because you're dumped, that unless you're a bad person, but again, the dumping wouldn't be the signal that you're a bad person. It would just be something that happened. Being dumped doesn't have a negative value to you. It's just a thing that happens. See, I don't know if it's like relationships are tied with sex or something, but people don't view friendships and best friendships that break up like this to the level of there's no mutual breakup. There's no mutual reason why two friends drifted apart, right? And we see in everyone's life from elementary, high school, post-secondary, leaving post-secondary, that friends just drift away all the time. Again, I think there is a gendered position to have this idea. I think there is a immature position to have this. And I really think it does just rest in the realm of immature. The idea that two people can't separate mutually.
Nobody thinks so. Or how about this guy? TenZ still protecting her out of love even though she broke his heart.
And this is kind of nice because TenZ definitely loves her. And I'm sure Kyedae loves him too. They spent 6 years together. Could you imagine just looking back in your past and even if it's like a dog, like just spending and committing 6 years with someone? What's he supposed to do here? Ignore his love and try to hurt her in an immature way? I'm just saying, these people, I don't know if these people have ever been in relationships or meaningful relationships if they're willing to hurt someone because they're hurt. We all know the expression, hurt people. But like these people already sound hurt and they're not even dating Kyedae. Interesting.
The same person would call her evil and would post a random TikTok comment that pretty much was saying their theory about this.
Real ones know the truth. She's evil. Pretty sure her sister doing the same thing to Jason. I don't know who Jason is. TenZ and Kyedae broke up. At first, he deleted all Instagram and Twitter posts with her, including engagement posts. They both stopped wearing engagement ring. Now on soccer, who knows?
About how he said on stream that he was having a rough week, that he was all alone. Meanwhile, Kyedae was hanging out with her sister and friends, making it seem like he was abandoned. There's even one guy here saying, "Here's your answer, bro. Even a cold-hearted person will have no choice but to say something about this." Linking an image of an AI summary, saying,
I just have to say, this V thing, I don't get this black with a V thing. I wonder if it's a style thing. I believe in the truth video, there's a YouTuber like Black Bulma or something, or Dragon Ball Black, and they used the V. I don't get it. I think it looks cool. I just wonder what it's like for. I wonder what the style is. I wonder if it means anything. If it doesn't mean anything, it doesn't matter. But yeah. Anyways, like she had cancer. Like the thing is, she was already rich at the point of her getting cancer, I believe. She was at least streaming super successfully for a year. And I think it was way before that. I'm just not remembering right now. So what I'm thinking is, couldn't she have paid for everything herself? I feel like these people are saying that TenZ paid for everything, and he might have, but she probably could have paid for everything else. He was genetically matched and proven to have the bone marrow. What? Anyways, I feel like Kyedae could have paid for this. No, it's a false rumor. Okay, it's a false rumor, because that would have came up by now. So yeah, I guess if you lie, you can emotionally charge people. Or get people emotionally charged, sorry. Yeah. I don't know, it's hard. Like, it's hard to say, but like when you get to the place where you are of means and you're not happy in your life and you're able to make a change, it's hard not to. It's like this idea, right? Chris Rock said it. Men are only as loyal as their options. I personally don't believe what Chris Rock was saying in this, but his basic summary was, if a man has 5 women following him, he is 5 times more likely to cheat on his wife, right? If a man has no women following him, he is never going to cheat on his wife. Now, I don't think Chris Rock cheated on his wife, and he has how many women following him, right? The point to say is that if Kyedae had the option and the means to go, it's a bad thing, but the idea of them staying together unhappy, that's just so sad. I'll tell you why it's sad, okay? They're just so young. They're 24. They're 24. They're millionaires. And they have to stay with each other because the internet wants them to be together. And if they don't stay together, they will trash her. And they will weaponize her cancer against her. It's kind of booty if you think about it. It's kind of lame.
That as part of Kyedae's treatment, she underwent a bone marrow transplant, which was successfully performed using donor cells from her partner, TenZ. Guys, you have to understand, a bone marrow transplant is one hell of a procedure. It's not like a blood donation. There's a 1 in 1 million chance that you even match the other person in order to donate to them, and the symptoms are not very straightforward. Muscle pain, bone pain, headache, fatigue, nausea, etc., etc. And yet, the only time Kyedae said anything after her post was here, saying, "Where the fuck are you even getting this from? He has never donated me bone marrow. I'm genuinely getting irritated reading lies." This was a complete fabric.
And let's just talk about this. Elon Musk did not do this to Twitter. This is just the nature of Twitter. People will rush out with lies to control a narrative or to have their mark onto a narrative. So, excuse me, sorry. When Alex Preddy got shot, people spread to Twitter to say that he approached with a gun, implying that the gun was out of its holster and in his hand. And people said, you should never go up to a police officer when you have a loaded gun. Even though that he never attacked an officer, he never did anything like that, right? So people went on Twitter, straight up spread lies about something so cut and dry. This is cut and dry, of course. But if you hate women, it's not cut and dry. And then if you're in this media center of woman hating, then it's not cut and dry. And unfortunately, the ramp up of 2023 to 2024, we saw a resurgence of this woman hating culture again. So Kyedae, unfortunately, fell into that. And here's something too, okay? If these guys are doing it for TenZ, why are they trying to embarrass TenZ? The idea of like posting that she was cheating on him the whole time is a little embarrassing. I personally wouldn't want that. Anyways, just to go back and say, these people are rushing online to inject themselves into a narrative. I don't know if they brag about it, like, you know, like maybe someone will brag about it, like, ooh, I made the blah, blah, blah talking point. I know that it's a tool to get famous. I know I've gone online and lied, but I think it's funny. I don't know if this person thinks it's funny. This person is like very emotionally loading it. Sometimes I'll like go online and I had another YouTube channel. We can review that later, but I would make like fake stories up. I thought it was funny. I could have done better writing, but right here, this is too emotionally charged. It's too much trash in Kyedae for no reason. Again, Kyedae got stuck in these 2 years where like hating women was just awesome. And it was that Andrew Tate stuff where who cares if Andrew Tate sex trafficked? There's just so many different things that like are compounding on here that are burying Kyedae, but they would have buried every other woman at the time, to summarize.
From the AI this person was using. And yet, even though she came out to say this person would still have the gall to reply saying, oh, people aren't buying that. Look, regardless of what you might think so far, it was obvious. Both Kyedae and TenZ were in a situation that truly warranted the saying, damned if you do, damned if you don't. You say something, you get shat on. You don't, you'll get shat on anyway. The rumor mill had totally spread out of control. And people weren't simply going to believe that this was amicable, that nothing happened behind the scenes. This is also where the post I had shown you on Reddit would start to spread like wildfire on Twitter. This tweet got close to 10 million views, and they'd link both the post where—
See, and here's the thing, right? Like, what if they broke up in November? We just don't know when they broke up, and we don't know when they decided to share. They probably decided to share after this. Unfortunately for them, but that's because that's the product that they shipped, the relationship.
Where Daph and Kyedae unfollowed each other because Kyedae was hanging out with Daph's ex, as well as the other 5-point post that was talking about TenZ and Kyedae's breakup. So now it wasn't just about misinformation, like him giving his bone marrow to her.
Damn, look at that. Getting cheated on by a girl you gave your bone marrow to has to be the most gut-wrenching shit imaginable. You just see how that Tylenol Jones. So this person is at least a mega talking person. They think it's funny. They think Trump's funny. I think Trump's funny too, but you see, it kind of just rolled into a lie. And now it's a talking point. It's crazy. Look at all these views. All these views, people who are like me, who have no relationship to any of these people. It's possible that they do, but it's possible that they don't have no relationship with these people. They're going to just run with this. I would run with it. I had to Google it. Look. Regardless, it was just that easy. Start that rumor.
It was also about cheating, right? Getting cheated on by the girl you gave your bone marrow to has to be the most gut-wrenching shit imaginable. People had already made up their minds here. I mean, people would take it even a step further, saying this John Choi guy is screwing all these big female streamers like Extra Emily, because he also dated her, 39 Daph, because he's her ex, and now Kyedae, when all these girls used to be friends, cold world. So now this guy was a player who couldn't keep his sausage in his pants and who was literally jumping from bed to bed. This had gotten so out of control that TenZ directly quote tweeted that post we just saw of those two Reddit posts and said, okay.
And nothing that TenZ could say would ever mitigate the hate that Kyedae's getting. Even though he's basically begging people to stop. He does not want to see Kyedae get hurt. Because he's not a hurt person. He was in a situation where he was hurt. I assume Kyedae was hurt as well. But this is so crazy, just everything being drug around.
This is genuinely disgusting that people are still spitting out bullshit onto the timeline. There's some stuff I'm going to clear up since people are just throwing around blind.
And they're doing it not for TenZ, they're doing it for clout. They're doing it to spread their message of woman hating.
blind hate to push a narrative that is non-existent. John is a friend of both mine and Kyedae. Just because they hung out on a trip that I was supposed to come out on but had to cancel last minute with one of my best friends from high school there with them, who also is conveniently cropped out of the photo to once again push this crazy cheating story, is fucking wild. Maybe before people start speculating things in a relationship they have absolutely nothing to do with, they should focus on fixing their own insecurities so it's not projected outwards. Exactly. Also, I have absolutely no clue how people started saying I donated bone marrow to her when I most definitely did not. I legitimately cannot tell if this type of shit is just rage bait, but it's genuinely pretty hard for me to get emotionally charged like this. So
there was a friend there that was cropped out to make the picture. Listen, ignore the 39 DAF situation. That's a whole other issue to talk about. I'm not too informed about 39 DAF and Kyedae. I assume that they're best friends. I don't know if they know that John hangs out with Kyedae. Wow, the friend was there too, eh? That's interesting.
Obviously by now, these two were expecting some sort of backlash for breaking off one of the most popular content creation relationships in history, but they got completely and utterly sucker punched in the face when they realized just how much the hate was rampant. They weren't expecting this level of controversy. And while some people were wishing them the best and supporting them, others were still here to say, this is some cuck post for sure. Yeah. So now he went from a victim to a cuck. But here's the deal.
Exactly. They were using TenZ as an example to spread their hate instead of a way to help them. Like, there has to be some TenZ fans who were like genuinely upset. That's really what it looked like. And I'll tell you what, ironically or unironically, depending how funny it is, I'm sure the 4chan board would not have discussed this cuckoldry to this extent. They're like they're kind of like Reddit now, right? Where it's like they're like trying to pseudo intellectualize, but this cuck stuff where they're like, oh, TenZ is a cuck and he deserved it now. Like, bro, these are definitely not fans.
Objectively speaking, he truly wasn't wrong about this picture that was being spread everywhere. He was saying it was cropped, but if you Google image search it, it's almost impossible to find the original image. Yeah, this is how quickly this had spread. There was no source to the original. I had to go to John Choi's personal Instagram to find it. This was the...
Wow, okay. That's interesting. This could be interesting. Look at that. This is interesting because I thought these two were flipping off like some random person that was taking a picture of them to tell them to get out. Wow. But this guy was here the whole time. That is hilarious. That's interesting. That definitely changes the paradigm.
Only way. And as we can see, TenZ wasn't lying. His best friend was there. In fact, he was the guy taking this selfie. But still, just because of this picture, by the way, there are like over a dozen pictures in this. It's a photo dump. All the comments here are asking, you and Kyedae dating? Making fun of the fact that they're cheating, and of course the fact that he's suspicious. Additionally, people would be spreading around this image, this chat log of Kyedae on this trip saying, I'm sorry LMAO, not my fault LMAO, I'm stuck here for a day. And John got the time wrong. Me and Suvan missed the last boat. Tyson, don't be mad. This was Kyedae typing in TenZ's chat back in September 2025, just a couple of months before they had broken up. It was in reference to how she had missed the boat along with John and Suvan during their trip that was displayed in this image.
I wonder. So maybe they're together at this point. We still have October, November, December. But maybe they're together at this point.
Forcing her to spend one more day with them. To the people who were calling Kyedae a cheater, this was evidence that Kyedae was starting to cheat on TenZ, because why else would she say, please don't be mad? In reality though, if we want to be objective, she was maybe saying this because she knows he would worry, and she didn't want him to get worried over their lack of responsibility. Okay. In the end though, it's up to you to decide. The final thing that Tyson or TenZ would say during this controversy would be playing...
Who would go on a Steam or stream chat and say, I'm sorry, I was cheating on you? Like, these people are building this narrative in their head. Like, people wouldn't do that. Kyedae wouldn't let anyone know that they missed the boat if she was cheating. Playing esports made me immune to feeling anything from internet hate. To the people still projecting, please interact with this tweet so I can collect some Twitter revenue and pop champagne tonight in honor of you.
Esports made me immune to feeling anything from internet hate. To the people still projecting, please interact with this tweet so I can collect some Twitter revenue and pop champagne tonight in honor of you. Heart emoji. And again, the top replies here are calling him a cuck. Holy cuckfest. Bro got cucked so hard he has to pretend he's happy
Sith
for the
Lord
fans.
Groiper. Come on. Come on. Sith Lord Groiper. Peppy guy. I don't know how Peppy was co-opted by the alt-right back in 2016, because Peppy was like an extension of those React animals. There was a different name for them, but yeah, no. Like this guy, come on, this guy has no weight behind his words.
I'm pretty sure I have to censor.
And it's not just because he's a groiper. I'm sorry. It's not just because he's a groiper that he has no weight behind his words, but this guy should be Sith Lord Grifter. He's obviously going out of his way. But got cooked so hard he has to pretend to be happy for the fan. Like, he's obviously going out of his way to further this conversation. And what's the conversation that he's furthering? Well, TenZ is a cuck. Cucks are bad. We saw this with Destiny. We saw that Destiny would be debating everyone. He would be winning every debate, and the only thing that they had was to go back to making fun of him for letting his wife sleep with other people while he slept with other people. Which is kind of crazy when I think about it, because they had an open relationship like perfectly, but like someone like this Sith Lord Groiper, I don't know if you'd be able to handle that. Regardless, you can't trust a Groiper. Like, look at Fuentes now. Like, Fuentes now is saying, like, oh, I don't even want to be involved with the alt-right because I just wanted to meme. And I think that's what this guy's doing here, is memeing. Which is better, which is actually infinitely better than the person who made up that bone marrow thing, I will say.
That word because YouTube hates it, but I'm sure you know what a cuck is. C-U-C-K. The second most liked reply would be, the crash out continues because your girl clapped another man. These people were relentless. TenZ was trying his best to keep his composure, to act calm and collected. These people were relentless. TenZ was trying his best to keep his composure, to act calm and collected. But the parasocials would take it a step further, and they'd find out through their own crazy research that he had not taken this breakup well at all when it first happened back in December. On the OTV and Friends drama subreddit, someone would make a post about how TenZ had created a new secret Instagram and Twitter account purely to follow a woman on December 21st that he met at a UC Davis party that was 6 hours from Los Angeles. These accounts...
Before anyone else makes assumptions he was not cheating on her, that was a rebound. He met the girl around December 21st in a party. This girl is studying in UC Davis, 6 hours away from LA. About TenZ's secret Twitter and Instagram, TenZ is not making it secret to be sneaky when he literally named himself not Tyson. Well, to be fair, he is lying about being Tyson. So, I don't know, that's going to be an L for me. And it was created in January 5th. Oh, okay, so it was created in New Year. Maybe it was a New Year's breakup. December 7th stream. Wearing the ring and playing with Kyedae and even planning some co-op games with her in future streams. He even asked Kyedae to watch an anime with him, but Kyedae said no. Kyedae asking TenZ to play a game. TenZ said, when we move. Even Kyedae said that she will never go back to streaming. Now she suddenly will go back. How do you feel about that? I think it's dumb that she stopped, so. December 8th to 15th, TenZ and Kyedae break up around this period. This should be the time they would move to a new house. Okay. Okay, so he met her after the breakup and then made a Twitter way after he met that lady. 17th, TenZ stopped wearing the ring and said he's dealing with personal shit and he will not be able to move on the days he planned to move out. it would be hard to function when you are about to move out with your fiance and shit like this happens. TenZ said he is hanging with some friends to party. Cool. TenZ was seen UC Davis dorm hallways at 2 a.m., maybe after the party. Christmas Day, spends Christmas alone. TenZ creates the secret IG and Twitter account. You can see the creation date. Easy to cheat with a friend than a random college girl 6 hours away from you. TenZ is close to Faker in terms of popularity in Valorant. What's that mean? So every movement has a lot of eyes on him. Oh, okay. So because he was so, like, he was bad in 2023, people started doubting him. But he won in 2024, but I guess he was never, like, super pro to be out of the Faker category. Okay. So maybe he got bad again? And this is the first rumor only TenZ have. This is the first rumor only TenZ have and was seen with a girl. Most of the club he goes was a special guest with another streamer.
Were not secret because they were called Not Tyson. Here's the timeline of events. They estimate that the breakup happened around December 8th to 15th. On December 17th, he didn't have his ring on stream. On December 20th, he streamed again and said he was going to a party with friends. Eyewitnesses report that they saw TenZ at UC Davis in the dorm hallways at 2 a.m. on December 21st, after the party. On January 5th or 6th, he would make secret Instagram and Twitter accounts called Not Tyson, and he would only have one person he'd follow, who was a girl that he had met at UC Davis. The parasocials went as far as stalking this woman, going to her Instagram page and interacting with it so much to the point where she now privated it. However, that didn't stop someone from that same subreddit from posting an image of her and her username. Of course, I'm censoring it for the sake of her privacy, right? But I'm just saying it's there. Complete and utter disregard to the privacy of someone who has nothing to do with this. And the reason why some people bothered to mention this was because they wanted to show that Tyson wasn't taking this well, that he needed a rebound because of how heartbroken he was, that it wasn't his decision. In the end though, who knows? Up to you to decide. Look, by this point, TenZ had tried his absolute best to cover for his ex that he still cared for, but it didn't matter. This post has over 1.6 million views, 61,000 likes, saying, ending a 6-year relationship on just messages after he sacrificed his career for you and stayed loyal. Women are evil, bro. Evil. This post was made quote tweeting a clip that had nothing to do with this. It was literally the clip I told you about before, where Kyedae was asking TenZ, hey, can you play that game I like? And him saying yes when we move. There is no indication, there was nothing that told us that they broke up over text. Nothing. And at this point, I have to believe that this post was made purely to farm views and impressions so that they can get paid. I don't have another explanation over this. This had gotten so out of control that 39 DAF had to quote tweet TenZ tweets.
Please don't use me to fuel this false narrative. Me and Kyedae's falling out had nothing to do with John and was over an unrelated issue we didn't see eye to eye on last year. They've been good friends with each other and I have no issue with that or with them.
Saying, please don't use me to fuel this false narrative. Me and Kyedae's falling out had nothing to do with John and was over an unrelated issue we didn't see eye to eye on last year. They've been good friends with each other and I have no issues with that or with them. I don't like this heavy mischaracterization of others to push some nonsensical story. Yes, I'm no longer involved in their lives, but they are not deserving of the onslaught of slander.
And again, no one's calling Daff a cook. No one's calling Daff this, that. And they were friends. It seems like they were pretty good friends that just drifted apart. And they drifted apart a while ago. This is going back to that comment I was saying that people build and put on so much more to the ending of a relationship, like a romantic one, as opposed to the ending of a friendship. The relationship, of course, is a heavier, more meaningful relationship, but like, you would think that if it exists in that principle, it would also exist in the principle of best friends as well. I don't know. Again, if you took the sex out of a relationship and they were just roommates and then they just split up after being roommates, I really don't think you'd be seeing these false narratives popping up.
Anders dogpiling. John is not a homewrecker, and Kyedae never did anything malicious. That's all. So even 39daft, someone who had unfollowed Kyedae, who had stopped being her friend around the end of 2025, was coming out here to defend them. She couldn't even stand seeing this. But of course, again, it didn't matter what anyone said. The top liked replies here are, "It's okay. John Choi cracked both of you, and it's okay. Thanks for reminding us that you fell out with Kyedae also because of John. Damn. They paid you off too." No, this has to be rage bait, dude. Like, even objectively, this has to be rage bait. So even 39daft coming in for defense wasn't doing much. So as you can imagine, when John Choi himself was forced to make a statement, this also didn't change much either. He'd come out to say, "No, I'm not dating Kyedae and I have never hung out with her outside of a group setting. Stop cropping photos to make it look like we have. Tyson is a friend and has stated himself that these rumors are false, so please stop sending me death threats on his behalf." Heart emoji. You want to guess what the most liked reply said? Crazy what Kyedae is forcing all her men to post. John Choi would reply to his post. Quote tweet.
By the way, I'm so sorry, but these are the funny tweets. These are kind of like funny. They're still like pretty disrespectful, but it's a lot better again than the bone marrow lie. Cause like the joke is that Kyedae has a ring and control over all these people in her life, and then with the bone marrow situations, Kyedae used and sucked all the value out of TenZ, and then left him bone dry.
Tweeting what TenZ said, as well as link an image saying 21% of adults in the US are illiterate in 2024.
That's me.
54% of adults have a literacy below 6th grade level. 20% are below 5th grade level.
That's me.
Low levels of literacy cost the US up to $2.2 trillion per year. The reply right under that says, "Sure buddy," laughing emoji, showing John Choi wearing the same beanie that Kyedae's wearing, using it as proof that they're in a relationship. I do have to say though, that the top reply to this post ratioed it over 6 times and said, "I'm wearing the same shoes your mother wears, that must mean I'm fucking her." In any case, now we had reached a point where everyone, whether they wanted to be involved or not with this breakup, had to make some sort of a statement. By this point, it was February 10th. Barely 48 hours had passed since the initial breakup post from Kyedae, and things had to—
Are these the same ones and the camera corrected the color differently, or because the color is so different? I don't know.
Evolved to a level that had not been seen before.
Oh, by the way, how can this you gay, even though he's sleeping with his mom? Like, it's just, they're stupid. They're so stupid.
Especially for an amicable breakup. But again, as you might have surmised by now, that didn't matter. Even after TenZ tweets, 39daft's, John Choi's, everything, it didn't matter. People were still peddling the idea that she broke up with him over text, that it wasn't mutual, and there's no such thing as mutual breakups. It's a fantasy, and the vast majority is pushed by the woman. Soon you'd start to see posts like this, saying, "Maybe the cancer will come back. That would be funny." And now look, as disturbing as that post is, I mean, seriously, wishing for cancer to come back over something like this is wild. This again underscores the need for me to emphasize that Kyedae had not in any way defeated the cancer by now. This was another piece of misinformation that was being peddled like—
Yeah, so like, they won't do chemo until the cancer's all gone. They can only do chemo in a set amount. And what they'll do is they'll check if the cancer's in remission after. And if it's not, they're gonna have to look into doing more chemo. So, I thought the cancer went away myself. I didn't know that it was still there, but
it's the truth. This chick literally still had cancer, but people were acting like she defeated it. And there was no shortage of vile comments like this, whether it was directed at Kyedae or TenZ, calling him a cuck and a million other things. And then just as you thought that maybe things were finally about to die down, maybe we could finally move on from this very stupid, incredibly blown out of proportion drama, a self-admitted pedophile would step into the ring. And he would, for some reason, make it a million times worse. Hunter Mims, otherwise known as—
Okay, so I'm just gonna pause here. I just want to see what he says. It's just a 3-minute video.
You're clearly unwell. These people are in a chat watching because they're finding you destroy yourself further. Seek help. Now projecting. See, that's what I mean. Projecting, or rage bait, and parasocial all in one. I've been streaming for over a year now, and I've been completely normal, and I will continue to be. This means nothing to me. I'll be honest. This means nothing to me, and it's so much more personal for Daft, but she still goes out of her way to prove that I'm right about something that really, really doesn't matter in my life. Like I enjoyed my night, and I enjoyed my day waking up to this more extended drama, whatever you want to call it, bro. Like, and I didn't even want to start. I didn't even want to be a part of it. I wasn't gonna say anything. Because yes, me and Kyedae did talk about a lot of things in person, and Daphne's sitting there saying I'm a liar when she doesn't understand the difference between me and her, and what she's saying about me is that we both know it's true. Like, we both know, and she knows deep down she is wrong, but I know I'm right. It's like, okay, we can call each other liars all day.
Say something.
And obviously Kyedae's not going to text me these things, but I promise you, in a conversation, it happened. Okay, she said she wanted to experiment with men. She said she wanted to experiment with other girls. She said oh, Kyedae's not Kyedae. TenZ is too, like, what's the word when, like, too when you just want to have one partner and he gets like too jealous. She literally said all that. Attached? No, there's like a term for when you want only one partner. I don't know. Monogamous. Yeah, she literally said she said it like it wasn't normal. He's like, oh yeah, he's too monogamous for like me to be able to like experiment with other people. I'm like, yeah, sure. Because I literally told her, like, if you guys didn't know anything about my lore with my ex, I'll tell you how the conversation went. I remember it quite vividly. We sat down. I started telling Kyedae, I was like, oh, like, you know, me and Karis, like, we have kind of a half open relationship where like she can go, you know, experiment with other guys, but I've been like kind of talking to other girls and like doing this and that, and I kind of feel like it's fair that way. And then Kyedae was like, oh, I would like to do that too, but because Tyson just wants to be monogamous, I can't really do that, but I would love to go experiment with this, that person, and the other. And she said that in multiple different ways. Like I said in my tweet, I'm not lying. But like I said, I can't possibly, obviously I didn't sit there with an audio recorder like I'm the FBI or some shit, like of course. But again, there's more that's going to come out, guys. And like the next week, the next month, I know what is right. Okay? And that was 3 years ago, by the way. So imagine what she could have done in that time, considering the access she has, considering the money, considering the parties, considering living in LA. Like, I'm not saying that, you know, it is what it is, man. You'll see. You'll see. And, you know, I mean, okay. Regardless, you think I'm lying, you think I'm telling the truth, it doesn't really matter because there's already, like, pretty solid evidence that something's about to come up. And, like, really, it's just reinforcement. And I'm not even supposed to be saying these things. Like, I wasn't down. And if you guys see me in my past streams, I was kind of hinting towards it because, like, I don't know. And then Daph decides to say all these things to me and literally, like, act like a child, like, start cursing me out and, like, saying, oh, no one likes you because of your antisocial behavior that happened 3 years ago. And then she's literally a hypocrite. She says I'm instigating, I'm raising suspicions, when none of my tweets were like that, by the way. I made, like, 3 tweets about it. They were all pretty reasonable. And then she's like, oh, you're the one doing all these things. No. And then she tells me to post.
Bro didn't say anything. Let's see this. I think this is a little relevant. Let's see. I just want to see how old Sick is. So this is something that happened 3 years ago. He would have been 24. 1998 is already 27, bro. What is happening here? How's that possible? Yeah, okay, that's possible. Okay. So let's check this out right here.
Massive day for the unemployed. The Sick files have just dropped and it's not looking good. Sick confessed to being a file on December 20th, 2020.
Bro, I gotta just say, I love this whole thing. Big day for the unemployed. I love this.
During an EPAL order with me.
What the actual f did you just say to me right now?
Don't know who Sick is? Let me catch you up to speed. He was Valorant's first major winner, and he was on a team with TenZ. Incredibly talented Valorant player, but with a lot of mental issues that even landed him in jail.
You think that everybody has, like, their own vices or, like, things that they're bad. Like, everyone's bad.
Now, if I remember correctly, I'm sorry, this was for breaking an entry?
Some way, right? And of course I don't justify it, but like everybody has their thing, and maybe that's my thing, I don't know. But like I said, I'm not a predator by any means. I wouldn't say. I'm not trying to meet a young girl. I'm not trying to talk to them every day. I'll give you my mindset since you gave you yours. Like, I'll be honest, if I find a girl attractive, then I pursue them regardless. Like,
yo, what the is bro mumbling about, bro? He's treading some dangerous waters, and this is just the tip of the iceberg.
And of course, like too young, like yeah, like 12, 13, 14 maybe, I don't know. Like that's really bad. And
but why is it bad? Like, what's the difference, right? Like, if you're gonna date a 15-year-old who's hot, why wouldn't you date a 12-year-old who's hot? Quite frankly, it's a little bit silly. These people are only saying, what these people are doing is they're taking the age of consent argument and they're pushing it to the area where they feel comfortable. But let's say you have a 13-year-old or a 12-year-old who's built like an 18-year-old. Why wouldn't you date them if you're comfortable dating a 15-year-old? Like these people, they I don't know what the lie is. I don't know if the lie is that they would actually date a 15-year-old or if the lie is that they wouldn't date a 12-year-old, but they're lying somewhere within this. And I don't know if it's an edgy thing or I don't know if it is like some kind of like expression they want to put out there, some expression of their emotions of how they feel about like the age of consent. It's goofy though. Like this guy's 24. This guy's obviously a loser. I could see him trying to date a 15-year-old.
even of course I'm 27, so it's bad no matter what. So I won't justify it. I'm just still telling you my mindset. And I'm not a violent person. I'm not a mean person. I'm not a rude person. I don't do drugs.
Remember, assaulting a minor is a form of violence. Even if the minor says, yes, it is a form of violence. This is what we're dealing with the Epstein case. Now, listen, I am not smart enough to have a conversation or a discussion about the Epstein case. I'm really not that smart. But what Epstein did was he took these vulnerable girls who were okay, they were willing, they can't consent, they were too young, but they were willing. And they also didn't even want to be found out for what they did. Wasn't the initial story that Epstein high schooler told on? Let's see. You know what? I would have to look. I would have to look again at the specific story. But as I remember the story goes, there was a girl. Everyone was calling her a slut at school. The teachers said, "Why are you doing this?" And the kids were like, "She slept with an older man for money." They found the money in the backpack, and that led to the initial 2009 arrest, if I'm correct. Anyways, all that to say that it is a violent crime to sleep with a minor because they cannot consent. They do not understand. And as we saw in that example of the Epstein case, that girl faced major backlash she didn't expect to face. Who would tell someone that they slept with an older man if they knew that they would get bullied about it? So it's just an example about willing does not mean consent. And when someone says, I'm not a violent guy, I don't do drugs. Trump doesn't do drugs, but he touches women inappropriately. That's a violent crime. If this guy says that he wants to date a 15-year-old, that is a violent crime.
I don't really drink alcohol. I don't fucking get mad. Like, I don't insult people. I'm pretty like stable guy.
I don't drink alcohol. I just like kids.
But like this
Go
is my one thing,
Kyedae.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. For better or for worse, like I said.
Yeah, I don't know.
Told me how you feel about it, and I'm being honest. Like
You don't care. She's a minor. She's pretty. She's pretty. I'm hitting.
yeah, I mean, I would never hit. Like, I would never. Like, I would genuinely, even if I would be genuine, like.
Yeah, I don't know what's worse, him admitting he's a or him paying for an e-pal with a woman that sounds like this. They're pretty
Chris Tyson, Ava Tyson was not a predator. That's like saying Colleen Ballinger was a predator.
neck here.
It's kind of like a numbers game, right? Like for every 10 or maybe like, I don't know, 20 girls I talk to.
Again, disrespecting women. Like this whole number game thing is okay, but when you have to start dipping into people who are in the college division, metaphorically, right? Like if you're trying to compete in the NFL and then you have to dip down to the college leagues or the minor leagues, you're not really respecting the partner.
Only one will be like sexual in nature, right? So she just happened to be the. And again, it's not justifiable, but it happened. Like
Yeah. Like, how long ago
What?
was this?
This was probably like
4 months ago, 3 months ago.
Dude.
That's bad, dude. Don't do that shit. Stay away from minors, dude.
My bad, honey.
I'm saying this in a very nice way.
Oh, I didn't expect you to say it was a guy. I didn't expect you to be like, oh, go ahead. Like,
Yeah.
but like I said, I told you my mindset. But do you think that this type of behavior can be deconditioned?
Bro, you know what I heard unironically today? I heard the phrase "boys will be boys" when it came to a assault situation. Bro, and this guy just thought like it'd be okay.
In some way?
Yeah, do not pass go or collect 200.
Or do you think?
Like, being attracted to minors?
Sure.
okay.
Just stay away from minors.
Right, but like as I told you, my mindset, like if I find someone attractive, then I want to talk to them. So it becomes a problem where like not even how they look or how they are or like whatever. If you're attached to their personality, it can be hard to discern the difference, right? I mean, just stay away, obviously. Like,
Why is this guy telling this e-pal girl everything? Calling yourself a for 16 minutes straight and then ending with, "Are you ready for your bedtime story?" has got to be the craziest thing in the world. Not as crazy as the offers available on Free Cash. Grab your phone right now, scan this QR code, and go on to Free Cash, where you can make some coin while doing mobile games. And they've upped their game. They're now an official app on iOS and Android. They even got Raid Shadow Legends. You know, you can complete things within the game to make some... And yes, it's 100% legit. They got over 180,000 reviews on Trust.
I've tried some of these apps. They definitely work, but like you're not getting a lot of money quick, but if you're down for it, it's definitely worth it. Like what I would say is like if you play mobile games and you want to get like some mobile games credits, like if you're playing a gacha, this could be a good way to do it.
Pilot and have been reviewed by other websites like Survey Police. Cashing out is super easy with plenty of options, whether that be PayPal, gift card, or more. Whether you're unemployed or you got some free time, you can go ahead and scan the code or use the link in the description and pinned comment to download Free Cash today. I don't want to sell any false hopes here. Don't expect this to replace your full-time job. It's good for extra money on the side. Oh yeah, and by the way, it's 100% free to sign up. Just enter your email address, create a password, and bada bing, bada boom, you're ready to rock and roll.
No, I know math is hard.
And look at that, bada bing, bada boom, you're dripped out now. Now back to 16.
Should be like a role model and like not go after like high school. You know what I mean? If the girl is pretty, that big of a deal that like you have to like go talk to her no matter her age and like.
Also, how pretty is she? How pretty is a 15-year-old? I'm just saying. What kind of body are you looking for? You know what I mean? I know there's some built 15-year-olds, but are they really attractive to a 24-year-old? Like, I'm 30, okay? 18 doesn't do anything for me. 20 doesn't do anything for me. 25 doesn't do anything for me, you know? I'm like one of those girls who are like, oh my God, you're younger than me? I can't even imagine. You ever see those videos where it's like, oh, you're a day younger than my little brother. I can't even imagine dating you. I know I'm trying to be silly, but like an 18-year-old doesn't do anything for me. I look at an 18-year-old and I just see a very, 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 very young person. You know, I don't see them as an adult. I wish I had a little more grace at 18 to not be seen as an adult, but that's the grace I give to those people. Anyways, I'm sorry.
I feel like that's kind of up because like there's like a lot of beautiful people in this world, right? And like you could just go after the ones that aren't minors.
Well, I wasn't talking about just looks, like I said, but yeah, you have a good point. And okay, my thing is actually, never mind. Fuck it, it's fine.
Like, what is it about it? Like, is it like the innocence? Like, is it like that they're like so new to the world, or like?
I think it's a power thing.
It's a power thing.
Wow.
Right?
I think it's a power thing.
What am I even listening to, boys? Diddy down.
I'll be honest.
87 on the running it.
That's not bad.
No. It's Shrodity and 16.
Normally, it comes down to power dynamic, but it's not even just like doesn't have to be an age thing. This is interesting. I'm glad that we can engage in this politely.
Yeah.
I don't want you to think that that's the thing. I don't want you to think that I'm like a chronic, or something.
It may be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but Fridays, no, never.
I just wanted to like vent about it.
Yeah, I mean, I told you my stance on.
All right, guys, I gotta talk about the elephant in the room. The Genshin Impact is honestly crazy. What the heck kind of gameplay is this? Roblox gameplay would have been slightly more fitting, but I digress.
For me, it feels more casual. It doesn't feel like online. Of course, like I said, I never meet even the girls that I talk to, like that are of age and that like I get pretty invested with. I don't really meet them for one reason or another because I don't really want to push that. Like I don't know.
But do you think if it happened IRL, like it would change anything?
What do you mean?
Like your words or your actions. Like say if you were talking to like a minor, like in real life, like and like they like basically like gave you the power that you were wanting, would you not like take advantage of that? Because I feel like you would.
Yeah, I might.
I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
I'm not trying to justify it. I know that, I know it's bad. I just know. I'm sure I'm smart enough to know that. Like, I told you that I guess I'm too much of like a... what's the word?
I'm sure we can think of a couple off the top of our head.
No, but you said it doesn't bother you that they're a minor, and you like the fact that if they're a minor, then it doesn't bother you because you have more power over them. So don't you think that like you should fix that mindset of yours? Because you know it's wrong. You said it yourself. You think it's wrong.
Yeah, but that's only part of it. I honestly can't. I'll be genuinely honest. I don't think it's a fixable thing for me. Again, though, I'm not trying to minimize it, but it's not a situation I'm in very often. Like I said, this happened a while back. I consider that a pretty long time, and it's the only time it's ever happened. Like, I'm being genuine. Like I've never been in that situation other than that one time, and I don't talk to. In fact, somehow that girl is like she was like under 16.
Yeah, it reminds me of this. I'm 32 and my girlfriend is 13. Can we still do quests together, or are our levels too far apart? Sorry,
so
kind of new to world.
That is so crazy, bro. That is so crazy. Let's see. I think this is how I feel. Let me grab this video. This is PewDiePie.
I have a younger brother. I adore him. He's 24.
Like they could be the
you
hottest
can't be
person
younger
in the
than.
room, and if they
can't be
tell me
young-
they're even
Yeah.
a month younger than me, I'm just like, oh. I just see my brother, and it's like, oh.
I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. But I definitely understand when I see people who are like 10 years younger than me, 5 years younger than me. In this situation, that 15-year-old was 10 years younger than Sick. Anyways, that's kind of the vibe.
Warcraft. It's not like their age is even close, though. He's 27 and she's under 16, and he's talking about power dynamics. Like, he's about to get visited from Chris Hansen.
Right? And that's the only girl that I ever talked to of that age, and it escalated that far.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
When I like watch or I see these type of things play out, it's normally like full-on predators. Of course, I could be considered a predator just based off that one situation.
Yeah, dude, chill. Nobody thinks you're P. Diddy over here trafficking people and stuff like that, but this is still bad.
But I'm just telling you that like it's kind of a one-off, at least in my life.
He's worse than. He's got to be worse than 50% of the people on To Catch a Predator. That's
it happened again. Yes.
Well, it's not a one-off anymore now, is it?
If that happened again, like, would you do anything different?
I'm not sure. It's hard to say because people are, it's always different. But and like I said,
Like say like a child, like would make advances with you, like in the future. Like you wouldn't say no. You wouldn't like stop it.
I'm not sure.
I can't even call him 16 anymore because that's pushing it. I mean, if you're a pro gamer in any video game, you're inherently a bit of a loser because you've put in like thousands, if not tens of thousands of hours into a video game, and you must have sacrificed something, whether that be your social life or your
You know what I mean? Like, I thought money was the great equalizer for everything in life. But this guy's gonna have to date a kid? Are we kidding here? I thought money was the great equalizer.
Relationships or something.
The thing is, comparing like how evil an act is kind of silly, but the point is I think there's a lot worse people out there than me.
Yeah, have you seen this guy? Or maybe the black version?
I don't do drugs, I don't really drink alcohol.
Low-key, Sick kind of had motion back in the day.
I'll say something though that might seem a bit polarizing, but I think almost any adult could be attracted to someone under 18 in some way at some point, or feel that like in the back of their head or something subconsciously. But
yeah, maybe in Saudi Arabia.
So if you're watching this in Saudi Arabia,
it's a joke. Don't need to get heated, but here's another 12-year-old you can't touch. Oh, chill, I'm joking. These the type of jokes you go to jail for in the UK. Maybe I'll see Sick there.
I'm kind of a risk taker in general, and I kind of like the idea, not like the idea of it happening. Of course, it fucking sucks to like be exposed for something like that, or like have a situation unfold. But I think it'd be an interesting thing to have to deal with. I don't know how to explain.
Risk taking, sure, but we're talking like 0-day expiring options, or maybe sports betting, not messaging children.
I feel like it's something that you can deal with for being exposed as Diddy.
Yeah, but I'm not Diddy. That's the thing. Like, I'm not that bad of a...
What? Just because he's black?
Also, you're gonna send the order for the half an hour we went over, right?
Sure. Businesswoman indeed.
Hey, life's a sandwich. No matter the way you flip it, the bread comes first. Download free cash right now. I know you want to.
Yeah, an hour and 3 minutes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
3 minutes over.
Are we not finishing story time?
Yeah, we can. But wait, are you still on your computer?
Yeah.
No.
Well, how about this? I'll order more if you want to lay down and I'll sell it.
Okay.
This guy spent the last 15 minutes telling this girl that he doesn't care about age and likes the power dynamics, and she's like, yo, you want to pay for that story time? Is there a part 2? I want to hear the bedtime story. But the craziest thing was that Sick didn't even care and just started going live as if nothing happened. Don't let any...
You know what? That's so weird. I wonder, like, was he paying this woman? Because if this guy's paying women to play with him online and to talk to him, the 15-year-old thing might even be the second worst problem about this creep.
As 6CS was a pro Valorant player. He actually was on the same exact team as TenZ and played with him as a teammate in the Sentinels team. However, he'd be kicked out of the team in 2023 when he'd be arrested following an altercation at a car dealership. A few months later, he'd be arrested again, this time for trespassing on that same car dealership. His mugshot would of course be shared all over the internet, and it was very obvious through his...
So I just read there, mental health issues in gaming. We all know that gamers are like the most distressed class of people out there, right? Is this crazy? Is this like new news that like gamers are just like deeply damaged people? Regardless, this guy, I mean, do I have to do it? This guy is giving this vibe. Am I crazy? Oh. Whoa, how did I do that? Maybe? Maybe? No. I think Elliot looks a little better. Okay, anyways.
His actions and his very erratic, crazy tweets, this person was deeply unwell. Something had happened. It was also deeply painful for his friends and people who knew him, with Shazam, an ex-Counter-Strike pro and someone who's...
Hey guys, I have Sick blocked so I can make this tweet. He's not himself right now. Please try your best to ignore his tweets and his erratic behavior for now. I promise this isn't who he is. Thank you for understanding.
Played in the Valorant Pro scene, tweeting this out after his second arrest. Hey guys, I have Sick blocked so I can make this tweet. He's not himself right now. Please try your best to ignore his tweets and erratic behavior for now. I promise this isn't who he is. Thanks for being understanding. In fact, on top of this, the Sentinel's CEO would also promise to be in contact with his family in order to try and help him. But it seemed like no matter what they did, Sick didn't want to be helped. And unfortunately, it would get way worse. Sick would go on the website known as...
Bro, I'm so sorry. Sick is the penguin, right? Sick is the penguin who's marching to his death. Who, even if you were to put him back with the rest of the penguins, he would still walk back off into the inland. That's crazy, bro. Wow. TenZ, Send your profile
as
picture
ePal,
down.
where you can hire people, mostly women, to play video games with you, and that's exactly what he'd do. Except they'd have a very disturbing conversation where he would pretty much admit that he was attracted to minors. This would prompt the person with him to start recording and share it online so that people can be aware that this man is a freak. This would all be revealed in the beginning of 2025. Watch for yourself.
And of course, like too young, like, yeah, like 12, 13, 14, maybe, I don't know. Like, that's really bad. And even, of course, I'm 27, so it's bad no matter what. So I won't justify it. I'm just still telling my mindset. Like, and I'm not like.
This gives that energy of like the guy who goes on a date with a girl and then just trauma dumps his whole life and then wonders why she doesn't call back. This guy needs friends.
I'm not a violent person. I'm not a mean person. I'm not a rude person. I don't do drugs. I don't really drink alcohol. I don't fucking get mad. Like, I don't insult people. I'm pretty like stable guy.
So here he was, pretty much admitting to someone he had just met that he's into 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds. He knew that this was very bad because he's 27 and tried to downplay it by saying he's not a violent person. He doesn't do drugs, etc., etc. Look, one thing was obvious. This self-admitted pedophile was a very deeply disturbed person, and he so badly needed help. And it's not like there was any shortage of it, it just seemed like he was refusing it. In any case, as this was all happening, he would decide to join in on the dogpiling of Kyedae and TenZ breaking up. Again, TenZ used to be one of his teammates.
You know what I don't understand, and this is just generally speaking, how can people say the people involved in the situation were forced to make a statement when they are engagement baiting about their own drama to begin with? You can't pick the kind of attention you get. You know what? Maybe he's right about that.
He'd say, you know what I don't understand, and this is just generally speaking, how can people say the people involved in this situation were forced to make a statement when they're engagement baiting about their own drama to begin with? You can't pick the kind of attention you get. So here he'd be linking a now apparently deleted tweet of John Choi where he was using that same picture with the frog beanie, as well as adding red eyes to himself, as well as the picture where Kyedae was trying to be lighthearted, making fun of the situation on the engagement post. Seeing that this guy used to be a friend of TenZ, this of course got a lot of attention, reaching almost 1 million views. However, what was really interesting here is that once 39daph was made aware of its existence, she took it upon herself to reply to it, saying, "Shut the fuck up." This is when Sick would say, "Ah yes, a very logical and in-depth response, classic rage from you. Don't make me put your friend on blast, Daph, because I easily can. Who or what exactly are you trying to defend here? I thought you didn't talk to these people anymore." She'd say, "Go ahead, it's not like it's a secret. Most people distance from you as a result of your erratic, unsocial behavior the past few years. I don't talk to these people, but that doesn't mean I don't find it wrong to instigate the insane mob further. Your words have weight as an ex-teammate. Delusional people are sourcing your suspicions founded on nothing to connect unrelated dots. Godspeed."
And it's kind of like what we saw in the Twitter, right? Like, conspiracy posting. Nothing more freeing than being able to be a man of your word and stick by that. You can call me whatever you want, but I'll never be a liar. I am more happy with my stance. Oh. Okay, wait. Stance and how things are turning out. Just remember to stick to a story if you have anything regarding me. Also, those of you who are reacting out of pure emotion or shock value, would you like to see the screenshots or videos of me actually doing or saying anything dangerous or illegal to someone? The floor is open to you now. Wait, you admitted to it. Take care of yourself, Hunter. Both know a conversation have with truth. I do not have proof. Yeah, a lot of conspiracy posting. How about this? Fire show, by the way. Me think about what power is, especially in modern era. I think it's crossing some line. Okay, well.
Sick would then say, "Okay, I think you're just being a little emotional right now, but I'll go ahead and spill the beans. I'm sure Kyedae will be very grateful for you. Give me 15 minutes. I wasn't instigating anything, nor was I raising suspicions. If you took one moment to read, you would see that."
I don't think
this is when Daph would say, "In 5 minutes, I better see the spiciest beans of my life." This is when shit would truly get real. So much so that it would become a trending topic on Twitter with the title, "Sick and 39daph trade serious accusations in Kyedae TenZ breakup drama." He would quote tweet one of 39 Daft's replies to him and say, Daft decided to attack me personally over her own friend's engagement baiting on the timeline, so here it is. Kyedae told me multiple times in multiple ways that she wanted to experiment with other men, and that was quite some time ago, so I can only imagine what she acted on. Anyone who thinks I'm lying about this can simply go back in time. Kyedae literally sat down with me in Brazil one-on-one at a restaurant, and she admitted to this when she snaked me out to an ex-girlfriend, but I promise you she wanted to cheat for years. That's a fact. He would then link a couple of images of their DMs, saying, this is the sit down I had with her that I'm referring to, by the way. We talked about many personal things on both ends. Difference is I never went behind her back, but I know what kind of person she can be behind the camera, and clearly someone has to say something. So this is back in February 2023, and here we can see Kyedae saying, I hope you understand that after the conversation with you that I had at lunch, I talked to Tyson. Sick would say, I wish you the best of luck, my friend. Yes, of course, don't mind. To which she said, and we came to a consensus to talk to Karis. This was during the time that everything was already aired out on Twitter. To which he'd say what you want, yes. She'd then say, I called her asking her side of the story, and no, I'm not going to just say what I want. Some of the conversation would be cut off here, and then we'd find ourselves with Kyedae saying, Hunter, you aren't a good person, but you're making this worse on yourself. You tried cheating on Karis before Berlin. You've said the N-word multiple times in public in front of me, Tarek, and Tyson. All these things could get you easily canceled, and this isn't something I fucking want. This is when he'd reply with, okay, I don't know anything, do it, man. To which she said, no, I won't be doing that. He would then say, for those unaware, all of this on my end has already been addressed, thanks to her yapping about it mostly, so I don't mind self-reporting to stir the pot, obviously. So what are these messages exactly, other than the fact that they proved that he cheated and also said the N-word? This wasn't even the first time that he showed these DMs. He actually showed all of them to completion on stream around 2023. Retake has a great video explaining all this with the title, What Happened to Sick? In a nutshell, during the major in 2023, he wasn't allowed in to support his teammates. He couldn't even go and watch. Even though he was out of the team's roster, he couldn't even go inside to watch the games and support them.
Is that weird?
This would make him start posting some erratic tweets, with many fans being concerned over his mental health. It didn't seem like he was doing well at all. This, of course, all happened after the first time he got arrested. And then shortly afterwards, during all this, Karis, his then girlfriend, would announce on Twitter that she was breaking up with him because he had flown out a random girl to Brazil after he had a small fight with her, saying that he was lying, telling everyone that they were in an open relationship when that wasn't the case. People were also aware that he had a one-on-one dinner with Kyedae. She was one of the only people who was willing to talk to him when he couldn't get into the venue. And this is when Sick's ex-girlfriend would also add that Kyedae told her that Hunter made her uncomfortable, which made many people theorize that, oh, did he actually try to hit on her? Did he try to do things to her? Months would pass, and after he would get arrested a second time, he would admit that there was something wrong with him and that he was going to go get therapy. Now that he was back, though, to Sick, this was about redemption and revenge. From his point of view, Kyedae had ruined his relationship, all while doing the same exact things that she accused him of doing, which was cheating, wanting to be non-monogamous. He'd even emphasized this in this series of tweets. One of the last things he'd say would be, Kyedae went behind my back and told people all kinds of things about me in the past. I'm tired of these women thinking they have immunity to criticism. I know how evil they can be.
Like, how lazy is it, bro? How lazy? This guy cheats, and then he is trying to dog on Kyedae for cheating, even though we don't know if she cheated. We have no proof that she cheated. But he says that she cheated. But as I understand from watching this video, right now, the only cheating that is valid is the same is a claim that has the same validity as the bone marrow claim. We have no proof of her cheating at any point here. Apparently, Sick has admitted to cheating. So, I mean, criticize Kyedae, whatever, but look at this. I'm tired of these women thinking they're immune to You're kind of lying about her, bro. Kind of lying.
And it's right to call them out. I will provide more information later. He hasn't done so yet. Now look, objectively speaking, these DMs, they don't really prove anything. This is a drama that, as far as everyone was aware, was already solved in the past. And at the end of the day, it didn't really make him look good. It only made him look bad for people who weren't aware about these DMs. The only thing they proved is that, yes, he cheated and he said the N-word. And Kyedae, if anything, was one of the only people reaching out to him during his extremely erratic behavior. And when 39Daf would see this...
I'm sorry, and again, Kyedae's an idiot for talking to someone who would most likely drag her down. Like, this guy is gonna attach himself to the closest person that he can to try to crawl up their backs to get back into fame. So it's a little rich. Kyedae should have known better.
She'd make fun of the fact that he had no proof, saying, "You told me multiple times in the past you enjoyed sexting underage young girls. That was last year, so I can only imagine what you acted on." This was, of course, bait, and he would take it, saying, "Okay, now we are just lying. I have never had a conversation with you in my life." Shameless, the lengths women go to try and cover for each other. Unlike your claims, I have had actual face-to-face conversations with Kyedae. Perhaps log off because getting caught in lies won't work. She would continue to bait him, and he would keep biting, with her saying, "We did have some conversations face-to-face when we did org shoots together. You kept insisting you enjoyed them younger, but I told you that wasn't okay." To which he'd say, "Still trying to gaslight me. It's simply not true. I quite literally have never spoken to you about these things or anything. Keep coping and trying to deflect the actual issue at hand." Hell, even I'd join in on the fun and saying, "You see, I would have believed you if Kyedae was a minor, but seeing that she is over the age of 15, it's impossible that you would have been interested enough to have a conversation." And to my surprise, he'd actually reply, but then would delete his tweet. You see, someone would say, "I respect you a lot, Mujin, but despite all the potential evidence, you really don't think there's any chance of foul play? I'm asking you to be open-minded here." To which I would say, "Working on a video right now, and it'll cover all viewpoints objectively. But Sick is someone who admitted he liked minors, has been in jail, and is known to have erratic mood swings. It would be a major lapse in judgment to take anything he says seriously unless he has proof," which he didn't. That is simply an objective fact here. This is when he would reply to me before deleting his tweet very shortly afterwards, saying, in quotations, "known to have erratic mood swings." So a period of a few months 3 years ago? Anyone who knows me knows I'm actually very logical and level-headed, and my streams prove that as well, by the way. To which someone replied with, "Didn't even bother arguing against the minors thing because you know it's over." Bro, he completely ignored this point. But look, to remain completely
I will say it's so hard when you are dealing with someone who has a mental health issue and they remember situations like when they were back having the mental health issue. They'll remember everything, right? The way that they remembered it then. And you know what? Something that we don't talk about is that, like, we, as the people not experiencing the mental health issues, also kind of remember their actions and the way that they thought during that time. And, you know, unfortunately, there is a stigma that once you're sick, you can't ever get better. You're always going to have that affliction. And you know what? That's not always the case. And I mean, I'd have to look at stats. I don't really care that much. But I've seen just so much turnaround in my life with people who have had mental health issues. I could see how it's hurtful to Sick to have that. And that being said, that must have really hurt him, because this scarlet letter that's on his chest of mental health issue haver was the only thing that he responded to. Anyways, this is legit you right now. Yeah, I might be racist, but you were mean, and that's worse. You know what? Some edgy loser, some edgy gamer loser saying the N-word, I really don't care. I really don't care. And I think it's okay to criticize Sick because he's been seen lying here. But the mental health thing is a little harder.
Entirely objective here, maybe he's saying the truth. Maybe what he's saying actually happened. But due to his past history and his very self-destructive behavior, it's very hard to take him seriously. Additionally, he doesn't have the proof he claimed to have. Saying that she told you multiple times, in multiple ways, I don't know how else she would have been able to express that she wanted to experiment with other men.
By the way, he's saying, we saw here, damn, about proof, right? With hard proof, I have no proof, right? So, okay, no, that's a good point. So, with hard proof, blah, 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 Sick doesn't have any proof that Kyedae had these conversations. They are just as credible as Daft's claims about him liking minors. And you know what? They're both equally weighted, quite frankly.
is one hell of an accusation when someone is in a relationship, especially seeing how outraged Kyedae was when she found out that Hunter was cheating on his girlfriend. But to the many people that had it out for Kyedae, to the many people who truly believed that she cheated, they saw all of this as a great manipulation tactic by Daph, Kyedae, and John to completely discredit someone saying the truth, like Sick.
But also TenZ, right? Because TenZ was in these conversations as well. Sick wanted to leak Kyedae cheating, but gets countered by them by using his background as a pedophile. By the way, background, this thing just dropped, right? The whole video we just watched just dropped of him talking to that e-girl. So if he leak it, people won't believe him and they'll call him crazy or a pedophile. Good manipulation tactics by these three. Okay, so first off, 4. Remember, TenZ is a part of this. And second off, the pedophile thing was brought up after the fact. After the fact of Daph saying that Sick was spreading lies and signal boosting these false claims. That the pedophile thing had nothing to do. And also, Miyamoto Musashi. I know this guy. I don't know the guy, but I think... Is this the Great Samurai? Look at this. Listen, we know about this guy. First off, he is... His biggest work was actually in 1850s Musashi newspaper. His biggest work was the novel here. So this novel was written in the newspaper, between 35 and 39, I'm sorry. I thought it was earlier. Beautiful story. Beautiful story. Absolutely incredible. And we see like a large amount of like anime tropes come from this. We see Musashi go away as a child. Well, okay, so we see Musashi... the story starts with Musashi losing a war, I believe the Nobunaga and Issei, I got his name, war. And then we have him as like a rebellious teenager. He meets this girl, blah, blah, blah. Then he goes away for a while, comes back as a man. And you have like an A story, Musashi, B story, the girl, and C story, I think the kid. Little kid that the girl finds and bounces around between Musashi and the girl until they all meet up. Anyways, beautiful story. Powerful work. I've never read Gone with the Wind. I really want to. And the movie looks so good too. I just never really sat down. I love the Civil War. Anyways. This guy here is choosing Musashi's name because of stoicism. Little Eren Yeager, so he's a little crazy too. But like, do we not just want to talk about how this guy said that he wants to sleep with 15-year-olds? Because of power? Am I crazy? Am I a goofball? Am I a Liberty City
By calling
goofball?
him a pedophile, by using his background of erratic behavior and the fact that he landed in jail twice. His tweet calling out Daph has over 3.6 million views, over 13,000 likes. If anything, this only served as further proof that Kyedae was a whore. And that's the only thing that mattered. After seeing all the attention that he was receiving, Sick had no intention of backing down. In fact, he chose to double down. The next day he'd go live, reassure everyone that he's doing just fine. In fact, he's feeling the best he's ever felt, and would go into more detail as to what Kyedae told him specifically when they had that one-on-one talk in Brazil. Here's a couple of clips to show you. Watch.
Sick, you're clearly underworld. These people are in chat watching because they're finding you destroy yourself further. Seek help. Now projecting, see, that's what I mean. Projecting, or rage bait, and parasocial all in one. I've been streaming for over a year now, and I've been completely normal. But I promise you, in a conversation, it happened. Okay, she said she wanted. She said she wanted to experiment with men. She said she wanted to experiment with other girls. She said, oh, Kyedae's not Kyedae. TenZ is too like what's the word when like too when you just want to have one partner, and he gets like too jealous. She literally said all that. Attached? No, there's like a term for when you want only one partner. I don't know. Monogamous, yeah. She literally said she said it like it wasn't normal. He's like, oh yeah, he's too monogamous.
She said she wanted to be monogamous.
Other people. I'm like, yeah, sure.
So now he was more specific as to what he was saying. In his initial post, when he said she let me know multiple times in more ways than one that she wanted to experiment with other people, this is what he meant. This clip has 15,000 views and many of the comments are actually siding with him. The logic here is simple. Why would this guy lie when he has literally nothing to lose?
Bro, what are you talking about? He has everything to gain. He has everything to gain. You see my little mic thing? I could turn the gain up. That's what this guy's doing. This is crazy. He has nothing to lose. These people are, quite frankly, they're children if they're following these video gamers.
There's no friendships to care for, he has no team to get kicked out of, and he's really selling the idea that he's never felt better. He's known to have no filter, and very easily will admit terrible things about himself, like he did with that EPAL call where he was saying that he was attracted to minors. So why would he be lying about this today? On the next day, on February 13th, 2026, Sick would tweet again about this topic, this time saying, I've watched TenZ easily clutch 1 vs 5 in Valorant, but somehow he couldn't clutch a 6-year-long relationship. To be fair though, it's hard to win when the other team is cheating. This post would get over 4 million views, more than any post he's made so far. For the people who had a problem with Kyedae, Sick was becoming their representative, the voice of reason.
Bro, why does anyone have a problem with Kyedae?
Who knew the truth. At the same time though, one couldn't really deny that his behavior was becoming obsessive, creepy even, with how he was acting toward.
You know what this is like? This is like when Leafy came back and he started obsessing over Destiny's wife, Melina, ex-wife. Bro, talking about fumbling the bag. But it's so clear that Hunter knows that this is his claim to fame. I don't think he wants her attention unless it's like a negative reaction.
Towards Kyedae. And there was a reason for that. He never hid the fact that he was somewhat obsessed with her. Back during May 2023, after being arrested for the second time, he'd go through her Instagram profile, liking every single post on stream in order to try and catch her attention. Watch for yourself.
But you know, okay, did I like this one already? No, I didn't. Okay, that's it. Wait, I like one more. She looks like that's pretty. I don't know. Anyways, I'll go back.
Bro, come on. See, this whole thing here. Sorry, let's move this. This guy here.
What? Who the fuck is this? Okay, never mind.
And then his conversations about wanting to have power over women. Come on, bro.
Okay, that's enough.
I don't know.
Call her, but
I don't know if this guy is a little poopy memester, which like he's really giving the vibe of a little poopy meme boy. But he might, he might hurt a woman. Quite frankly. Sorry, and it has nothing to do with his mental health. It might be that his mental health is making him think that this behavior is okay. But this is also what the internet does to people.
Her Discord. Is she streaming? She is. But how do we spam that? I need her Discord to call her. Can someone spam? I need your Discord. What? Oh. My message wasn't posted due to the conflict with Nature Mod. Hello?
So does he truly have a problem with her? Is there a problem with him mentally? And is he really doing this because he thinks it's the right thing, or because he's always had a crush on her and is happy to see her finally breaking up with TenZ? As you might have guessed by now, I'll let you come up with your own opinion. Just know though that barely before I was going to upload this video, he would make this comment on Twitter. Someone would reply to his post and say, at this rate, I think you might want Kyedae. Hilarious. To which he would say, so what if I do ? Whatever, man. This dude is the Kanye West of Valorant. That is a fact.
Bro.
But Sick causing so much damage wasn't the only thing that Kyedae and TenZ had to worry about, because the parasocials would find something very interesting that was on none other than TenZ own subreddit. Someone had made a thread back in October 22nd, 2023 with the title, Kyedae cheating on TenZ. I saw Kyedae cheating on TenZ at TwitchCon. I swear I'm not lying. Believe me, she is a cheater. I saw it with my own eyes. Back then, this had 166 upvotes, 76 comments. Today, it has over 325 upvotes, 129 comments. People found it and started interacting with it, saying that this person was a messiah. Many of the comments left back then were doubting them. Now people are praising them. It seemed like no matter what Kyedae could ever do, no matter what TenZ could ever do, no matter what anyone could ever hope to do, there was no convincing some people that she didn't cheat. They were already convinced and nothing was going to change them.
Let's be honest, like how attached were they to Kyedae, right? Like if I was the type of person be inclined to poo-pooing on women, why wouldn't I just join this narrative? I don't know her. I don't know TenZ. They're just pieces to help me fill in whatever form of reality I want to see.
Minds. This amicable breakup that was figured out in private was now one of the biggest controversies the internet had ever seen over rumors and conspiracies. But seeing that these same people who made conspiracies were right about her breaking up with TenZ, then to many people it only made sense that they were also right about her being a cheater. That's the morbid reality of how the internet works. Look, in conclusion, this entire thing blew out of proportion the moment that both Kyedae and TenZ started messing around on Instagram. I truly don't understand why they would do that. With their experience being content creators for many years, I really don't get what went through their heads. Maybe they underestimated just how much of a big deal their relationship was to the internet. Maybe they were going through such a heartbreak that they didn't think clearly. But overall,
what were they doing messing around on Instagram? What did they do?
this was a major lapse in judgment. When this happened, and when TenZ pretty much confirmed their breakup after streaming without the ring, the pair's socials already knew that they had broken up. They had already moved on to how they broke up. This didn't allow Kyedae or TenZ to have control of the narrative of their own breakup story. So by the time she came out with her post, it was already too late. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Nothing was going to change that. And it seemed like the breakup vibes were contagious, because Kyedae's sister, who had also blown up with Jasontheween due to their public relationship, had also broken up very shortly afterwards. Barely 24 hours after Kyedae posted her breakup message. They of course would get way less backlash since her older sister was taking all the hate, but the timing was definitely interesting, and I'm sure the conspiracy theorists are going to have a very fun time dissecting why this happened. But overall, if there's anything to learn from this, never reveal your relationship to the public when you are a public personality, because as soon as you do, it's not your relationship anymore. You lose complete control over it. People get into relationships and break up all the time. It's just the nature of being a human being.
That's part of what made them so successful, like a gaming power couple. The idea of these two being like separate wouldn't have helped Kyedae grow at all. And I assume Kyedae helped TenZ grow, because TenZ said, I don't need to be gaming anymore. I already have enough of a following streaming. And I believe that Kyedae has a hand in that. Like, look at all those shorts that we saw earlier.
Especially the 21st century. But as a content creator, you're seen as a perfect person, so you're not allowed to be human. You can't just get into a relationship and break up. You'll be called all sorts of things. You're not allowed to make mistakes. Both TenZ and Kyedae benefited greatly from this. But once it ended, now they're going through one of the worst times of their lives. This is why many choose to keep their relationships private. And honestly, it could just be me, but I feel like ever since this year started, Twitter has been overly vile lately, like more than usual. Maybe because of some of the algorithm changes, but that's just something I've personally noticed. Let me know if you've come to the same conclusion in the comments. In any case, thank you so much for watching until the end. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to use the code MUJIN to get 10.
Whoa, look at that. It's an anime girl. I bet Sick would go crazy for that. Okay, well, let's just check this out. Let's see if Kyedae has anything to do with this. What's a win?
Hello.
Hello.
How are y'all doing?
I'm okay.
This is gonna be a very, very quick
Look
stream.
at this idiot, Brandon Buckingham.
Obviously, if y'all didn't hear, me and Sakura are no longer together.
What is her name?
Just want to go live and clear a bunch of things up. I wrote a couple things down just to get off my chest. This is the last time I'm gonna speak on this, and then you know we're gonna move forward. So first off, I want to start with yesterday. Obviously, ended my stream abruptly, broke down, crying. I was drunk as shit, started crying, and
listen, that's like, this is like the whole thing, okay? These people are going to be genuinely hurt by these breakups. TenZ and Jason. And I assume the sisters are sad to some component. I think it's weird that they both broke up at the same time. Seems like Kyedae didn't see why they broke up, or was at least a little surprised by it. Anyways, it hurts, right? The breakup hurts, and then people are going on social media lying about it, making it worse.
You know, these clip pages, they take this narrative and they spin it, and they get their impressions, and you know they thrive off hate. And the craziest thing is, you know, they don't even get paid. They just do it for the impressions.
They do it for the love of the game.
And if they do, they get paid pennies. But no one got cheated on. All right,
bro.
I went live today, going through a breakup a few days prior, and obviously, anyone going through a breakup would not be in the right headspace to stream or do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. No one cheated, all right. None of that happened. Yeah, me and Sakura are no longer together. I have nothing but respect for Sakura. This girl supporting me was my biggest.
This kid's 21. This kid's 21, and he has just such a nice. He's a great orator. He speaks so well, and he has such a level-headed opinion on everything. That's crazy. He's so good at speaking, and how he views the world, where these people are just spreading hate for the love of the game, getting paid pennies from Twitter or X. It's kind of like, what a very impressive guy.
Biggest fan, and helped me through a lot of. All right. And, you know, we both got respect for each other, and we both plan to support each other through whatever it is moving forward, whether it's streams or whatever it is. We're going to keep supporting each other. And, you know, I'm just grateful for the time we shared together, because she truly was my best friend. And, you know, we were each other's best friends. You know, this was the only person I talked to about, like, real deep problems. Like, she helped me through a lot, right? And we plan on being friends once, you know, our feelings settle and, you know, we move past this breakup, you know?
I hope they can.
I thought about this decision for a while, and I thought it'd be best for, honestly, both of us if we just go our own separate ways and grow without each other, you know what I mean? I don't really, yeah, but, I want to say that, you know, I know it looks crazy on the timeline right now that, you know, Kyedae and Tyson just broke up or announced their breakup, and then all of a sudden me and Sakura are announcing our breakup. That shit is 100% coincidence. 100% coincidence.
It's weird.
But yeah, please do not feel insecure for me, okay? I'm a grown-ass man. Don't feel insecure for me. I've always said this. Do not feel insecure for me. But yeah, we both just want privacy on this matter moving forward. You know, we're both gonna move forward and do our own thing and grow and be successful. You know what I mean? I appreciate the love and support that y'all have shown. I know my community, y'all always show love and y'all always defend the people I care about and the people who are important to me. And, you know, I just ask for that, you know, still, because I already know this shit about to be crazy, you know? It's not normal for thousands and thousands of people to have their own opinion and create these narratives on one single relationship. You know, that can f up someone's mental, and it's not normal. Like, it's crazy to think about that this is what we, you know, this is what we live in, right? But yeah, that's about it. I'll be taking a break. You know, I know I said I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna do some survival streams leading up to the 11th, but I'm gonna take these days off to just, you know, take a little break and you know, move on. The next time I'm live, I'll be live on the 15th on an island trying to survive 7 days. Trailer for that coming soon, but yeah, that's really all.
Smart guy. Let's see.
What is up, gangy? Now, the oldest profession for women has always been finessing men, and today we get to see a prime example of that, because these two sisters, Sakura and Kyedae, just hit the biggest lick in the streamer community. Now,
but what's the biggest lick? They don't get any of their streaming money anymore. They didn't even marry. They didn't marry. They don't get any money. They just broke up. What's the
I already made a video about Kyedae and how she broke up with her boyfriend of 7 years, but just one day after, her sister Sakura decided to break up with her boyfriend, Jason. Now, off rip, I knew that couldn't be a coincidence, so I decided to dig a little deeper, and I found this. Apparently, Sakura and Kyedae made over $2 million off their relationships. They grew their audience, and as soon as they had a big enough audience and platform, they ditched their mans. Now, both Jason and TenZ dropped a tweet talking about their relationship, and they both said it ended mutually. But we all know that's a lie. Let me tell you guys something. No relationship just ends mutually. There's always someone initiating it, and it's pretty obvious to tell who was the
that means nothing. We have that stat that 80% of divorces are initiated by women, but that has nothing to do with the reason why the divorce was initiated. Men would just sit and do nothing all day long and then be surprised that their partner's not into them. And you know what? Marriage is not enough. We watched this Sovereign Citizen video where this nut job, this absolute loon, was not paying any bills, was not paying any taxes because he was a sovereign citizen. He didn't believe in the power of the state. And even the Christians on the Ramsey network were saying, please divorce this guy. So, you know, these, and I don't know if it's Ventro, but this specific talking point has always been a way to be DEI for lazy men.
The one initiating in this case. Now, the worst part about this is apparently both Sakura and Kyedae ended up cheating on their partners. Now, I already made a video previously on Kyedae and talking about how she left her boyfriend of 7 years after she had cancer and he literally gave up his pro career to come take care of her. But I didn't know that she also cheated on my mans here.
It's not true, because he went back to do the pro and win the pro in 2024.
That is just straight up evil, bro. And look what she had the audacity to say about this situation.
I read the stats for like people who stay with their spouses or like whatever, like when they get terminally ill, and wow, the stat for men leaving women is so high versus the other way around, and it started to piss me.
I mean, look at the way he reacted when he found out, you know.
I fucked up, bro. Another run? Damn, he just hit his head mad fucking hard. Why is he so fucking hungry? Because he made a stop. Are you crying?
Okay, well, who was that? Was that Jason?
Fucking hungry. Because he made a stop. Are you crying? Let me get some air. You need to get some air. He's saying sad. He's drinking another White Star.
I think that's pretty much everything that we're going to cover today. Let's see. Is this Bobalax?
Recently, two of the biggest content creators
doesn't look like
in the Valorant sphere had a the impact in the relationship with always be there, and sometimes being together 24/7 can almost lose who you are without that. Desiro Kyan says, Kyedae wants a hoe phase. You think TenZ, who stayed with her and took care of her during her sickness, would leave her? She wanted out to find her true self and grow cancer, and she dropped him after she recovered. Sarah,
I hate Kaguya's top gal. Okay, well guys, it's all slop from here. I mean, I think we saw pretty much everything that needed to be discussed. We saw a great overview. I don't know what this dick too small thing is. Let's see here. Now I assume that Kyedae didn't say that. I assume Kyedae apologized. What? Kyedae's tweet longer response. Sorry, I'm just taking a look before we get out of here. No, I'm not seeing anything like that. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't see anything like that. Okay. Everything else here is just slop.
With her for many months now, and cracking her alone in an island and more. Daff John Choice on TikTok with the caption, TenZ is still expecting Kyedae to move over women they don't know, and it's scary. Rayon replies to the post by saying, nah, he's got zero self-respect.
Yeah, okay, so we're gonna head out now. Okay, perfect. Well, thanks for watching the video. Wild stuff. Wild stuff.